Step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Up and Adam, you beauties. It's a brand new day. Welcome to it. This is Expresso. My name is Graham Richards. It is a beautiful new day. I'm not going to lie, there is a bit of a vibe on set today. Hopefully you're going to feel that in your lounge, in your bedroom, wherever you're watching right now. It's going to be a beautiful brand new Wednesday hump day as we freewheel down towards the weekend. It's been a fun week, but it's been pretty heavy, so we're going to take the edge off with our special post this morning. We love to kind of set course with a bit of a question, and the burning question this morning: what's your favorite pastry? Yo, no, we are loving the smells coming out of our kitchen this morning. There are all sorts of pastry delights. So it's all about the dough. What is your favorite way to kickstart your day? What is your favorite dough delight? If you will, you can let us know on our social media platforms. But I'm not lying. There is really a cool energy and a vibe on set this morning. A lot of that has to do with the return of our Princess Catman. You must be as happy as me, dude.
Yes, his princess is here, guys. I mean, wow, what excitement all around, princess. Welcome back.
Yes, thank you. I'm good, and you?
Good, good. I hear that you were having a fabulous holiday, some time off, and you were in Dubai. How was Dubai?
Oh, it was very nice.
Yeah?
It was very nice day.
Parents are in Dubai.
Oh, just chilling with my old friend there.
Yes?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Did you get to go and see some of the desert?
Yes.
Sample some of the fine cuisine?
Yes, I go all over there.
Well, as you heard from Graham, is that, of course, the end of the month is upon us, and I hope you got some time to sample some Dubai pastries. Did you?
Yes.
What were some of your favorite?
Oh,
You know what, we'll talk about that another time, but what we do want to know, because in the kitchen, all the dough we're talking about is pastry dough, so let us know what is your favorite, and of course we'll be connecting with you on social media all throughout the morning. Hashtag Expresso Show, and of course you can find us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. But for the meantime, let's catch up with the rest of the team. Sis Princess, welcome back.
Oh, it's all such exciting times here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. The families come together. Princess is back. Cat is back. Cat is so concerned about Princess being back. We've missed him so much. He's been gone. It feels longer than what Princess has been gone. But welcome back, Cat. It's good to have you back, man.
Good to have you back.
My name is Tabiso Makubela.
And my name is Leanne Williams, and of course it is a tremendous Wednesday. You know, they say that Wednesday is the hump of the week, right? When you're over the hump, you are on your way to the weekend, and you can already feel that. It's starting. It's in the air. That excitement cannot wait.
Yeah, we can feel it here. Certainly, my energy levels are just peaking and just shooting all the way up. But listen, we're going to get you started with the day, first of all, by looking at the weather and the temperatures across most parts, or some of the parts of the country. It seems like a sunny and clear day in most of the parts, but let's take a bit of a look. Johannesburg is sunny. Yes, that's right. Sunny conditions with a southwesterly wind that dies down towards the evening. Sky will remain clear for the duration of the day, and temperatures will become chilly as the evening approaches. And in the South African playground, South Africa's playground, Durban, it's sunny there as well. It's warm as well. Plenty of sunshine with pleasant temperatures. A southwesterly wind will pick up towards the afternoon, and clear skies are expected for the entire day with low humidity. And out in Port Elizabeth, it's partly sunny today, mainly sunny conditions with occasional cloud cover. A strong westerly wind is expected throughout the day. As the evening approaches, cloud cover will decrease and the wind will die down. And here in Cape Town, the mother city, it's rainy today. We can expect some rain, cloudy conditions with occasional cloud cover and a shower in places. And cloud cover will increase towards the evening with a couple of showers still and a strong northwesterly wind for the duration of the day. Wow. But we will be taking a look at a more comprehensive look at all of this in just a bit.
And as you can see, naturally we are dressed appropriately for these wonderful winter days. I was just looking at you as you were doing the weather, and I love how you're wearing different blues, shades of blues and different textures as well. Let's take a look at you.
Yeah,
hey?
so I mean,
nice.
I've done exactly that. I've done different shades of blue.
Yeah. Textures as well?
Absolutely. Every bit of it, every item has a different texture, and it almost makes it feel like a different look. It brings a different element to it. For example, the pants are formal formal trousers.
Yeah.
And you've got this sweat top, which is nice and light, but still gives you a nice warm feeling.
Yeah.
The texture is also like nice and soft and smooth. And of course, I always top it off with a bomber jacket. You can never go wrong with these Woolies bombers.
These bombers are a
so
vibe.
cool. They are so cool. And you, Mama?
And of course, you know my dress that I love, which is the wrap dress. It cinches in exactly the right places. Depending on how you want to wear it, you can wear it with pantyhose, without. You can wear it with a strappy heel.
Yeah.
And it's the perfect outfit for days that are cold. You can always, put maybe a little fur jacket over it, a leather jacket or a denim jacket, or you could just go like this, And if you want to, you could even just wear it with something underneath. But I love the plunging neckline, and of course, I love the cinched in waist, and I love the fact that it hits you right here and adds, length.
It's such a sophisticated look as well. Such a sophisticated look. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
Well, Woolworths, they're running the quality sale at the moment. That's right.
Absolutely, where you can get up to 50% off on selected fashion, beauty, and homeware items. Plus, for W Reward members, you get an additional 10% off if you shop between now and the 28th of July 2019. So you can shop in store, you can shop online, you can shop via the app, and of course, T's and C's apply and can be found on www.woolworths.co.za. So that is the Woolworths quality sale happening at Woolworths right now.
That is such an incredible sale. I mean, if any of the looks that we've had on here for the last couple of weeks are anything to go by, you know that the stuff is going to fly right off. But it's not just beauty and fashion looks, it's beauty, it's fashion, it's homeware as well. So if you're looking to shop for the home, if you're looking to shop for the kids, if you're looking to surprise your girlfriend or your boyfriend, head on over to woolworths.co.za, shop it there, but also find the terms and conditions over there as well. It's time for us to get this show on the road.
Exactly.
Some motivation, some quote of the day inspiration.
Oh, end of the month inspiration for you, hey?
Yeah, almost there. Not quite there, but almost there. Almost there. You can do it.
24th of July. But listen, we want to get your day started with some inspiration, some motivation from one Eleanor Roosevelt, who was of course, First Lady of the United States between 1933 and 1945. Quite a pivotal role she played in many aspects of human and civil rights as well. In fact, she was made a delegate of the United Nations General Assembly and played a key role in drafting the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So quite an influential lady in that sphere.
When you put it into the context of the time that she was doing this as well.
Exactly. And she was also a key figure in John F. Kennedy's Presidential Commission on the Status of Women. And here's some wise words from Eleanor Roosevelt, who said, "He who loses money loses much. He who loses a friend loses much more. And he who loses faith loses all." Wow. Let that sink in a little bit. Above all things, keep the faith. Don't stop believing in yourself. Eh? Never stop believing in yourself.
And be nice to your mates, man.
You're gonna need to. So let that sink in a little bit as you start off a brand new day with your feel-good breakfast show. And of course, we'll continue to keep that so good feeling coming.
As we go 8 minutes after 6, let's take a look at those news headlines. Finance Minister Tito Mboweni yesterday announced plans to recapitalize the SABC, Eskom, Denel and South African Airways. Eskom will receive 59 billion rand over the next 2 financial years and the SABC 3.2 billion rand. Some 3,000 dwellings have been affected by flooding in various informal settlements across Cape Town as 2 cold fronts made landfall yesterday. Snowfalls of up to 20 centimeters are possible over some of the higher peaks in the Western Cape. Now moving further abroad, authorities in Singapore have seized almost 9,000 kilograms of elephant ivory, valued at 13 million rand. Some 11,000 kilograms of pangolin scales, valued at $35.7 million, were also seized. A former mayor of London, 55-year-old Boris Johnson, yesterday won the race to become Britain's next Prime Minister. He will be confirmed as Prime Minister today when his predecessor, Theresa May, formally tenders her resignation to Queen Elizabeth. And then finally, Gauteng veterinarian Dr. Cliff Bull received a most unusual call out on Monday morning when the SPCA asked him to remove a young leopard from a Benoni home on the East Rand. With a young leopard trapped in a laundry room, it was virtually impossible to access the confined space without being attacked. Bull asked one of the bystanders to provoke the animal while he positioned himself at a window with a dart gun and managed to clear a clear shot on the big cat's right shoulder. Bull's guess is that the leopard had escaped from an enclosure. The leopard was handed over to a wildlife rehabilitation team to evaluate it and assess when and where they would release it. Well, that was your 6 o'clock news update. Let's get our very first taste of what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Graham.
Well, checking our sporting radar this morning in tennis. Tennis South Africa has launched the National Primary School Championship, which will target disadvantaged schools in the country in an aim to grow tennis participation in rural areas. A brilliant step forward. Then on the aquatics front, South African swimming superstar Chad le Clos, as we expected, progressed to the final of the men's 200-meter butterfly event, that at the FINA World Championships in Gwangju in South Korea yesterday. And on the Olympic watch, today marks 1 year until the start of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, which is scheduled to take place from July the 24th to the 9th of August next year. Plenty of stories emerging over the next 12 months. That's where we leave our sport for now.
Thank you, Graham. Let's take a more comprehensive look at your temperatures across the country. But first, we take a look at the pictures you have sent through to us. Thank you so much to Duncan Lawrence, who sent us his sunrise from Bloemfontein, where partly sunny conditions can be expected with cooler temperatures than the day before, reaching a low maximum of 13 degrees today out in Bloem. And Drini Vermaak also sent us his sunrise picture from Scott Burr out in KZN, where plenty of sunshine can be expected with a southwesterly breeze, reaching a maximum of 25 degrees. Enjoy that. Remember, you too can be just like them by sending those pictures through on our Facebook page. It's Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Use the hashtag Expresso Show. And now we take a look at the temperatures across the country. Starting off in Polokwane, it's sunny today, a low of 5, reaching a maximum of 25. The highest temperatures in the country, that's Mbombela. 8 is your low and your high is 34 today. Pretoria, 4, reaching a maximum of 20. If you're out in Johannesburg, plenty of sunshine today. 3 is your low and your high is 17. Mahikeng in the northwest, 2, your minimum and your maximum 21. Klerksdorp, once again, you've got the coldest start to the morning. -2 is your low and your high is 16. If you're out in Kimberley, brace yourself for high humidity today. 1 is your minimum and a maximum of 14 can be expected over there. Bloemfontein, the lowest temperatures in the country today. -5 is your low and your high 13. If you're out in Richards Bay, 12 and 25. Pietermaritzburg, 5 and a high of 20. If you're in Durban, 15, reaching that max of 25. Nice and warm. Mbata, 0, reaching a maximum of 18. A southwesterly wind traveling at 37 kilometers per hour for East London. 9 is your low, reaching that high of 20. A light drizzle for Craddock today, 3 and a high of 16. And if you're in Port Elizabeth, you've got a strong westerly wind traveling at 39 kilometers per hour, and your minimum is 8, reaching that high of 18. George, 9 and 18. If you're in Sutherland, 0 and a max of 5. Occasional rain for Cape Town today, 11, reaching a maximum of 16. A couple of showers for Worcester as well, 5, reaching a maximum of 12. Springbok, 5 is your low today and your high is 13. And lastly, Uppington, 4 is your minimum. You will peak at 16 degrees today. Whatever the weather in whichever part of the country you find yourself, make it a beautiful day.
And it's going to be a beautiful one indeed. Thanks so much for starting off the morning with us. And we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we talk about a very important thing. Kim Abrams will be joining us, of course, all-round expert in parenting advice, as we've been learning from her for the past couple of weeks. And today, talking about how to teach your child to have good social skills. So important, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
and when I'm so interested in, because it appears in my scenario that develops really early.
Yeah.
But it's you can set the course, but how do you grow that in home outside of,
And what's the most important social skill to have, do you think? What do you think?
to be funny.
Yeah, well,
To be funny. We'll see if Kim can help us around with that.
just communication as well, So we'll chat to Kim about that. So all of the parents, come a little closer because parenting chat happens after the break.
Only you can make my day.
I'm Brennan Paper. I was on Tropical Island of Treasure Season 8 with Lizanne Lazarus. We were Team Red and we won.
I brought the brains and Brendan definitely brought the brawn. And together, we made a smooth team. Auditions for Season 9 launch in August. So here's your chance to win fame and fortune just like I did.
If you're talking about a smooth experience, this would be it.
Tropical Island of Treasure Season 9 on the beautiful Caribbean island of Curacao.
Tropical Island of Treasure, Curacao.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso on SABC3. You're right on time for our parenting talk this morning. Now, of course, if you want to be good at something, you have to practice it. And that can be said of many things, including developing good social skills. So this morning, family therapist and registered social worker Kim Abrams joins us in the lounge to talk about the importance of developing good social skills in children and how having good social skills can positively impact our lives. Great to have you back again, Kim.
Thank you.
Kim, you were fantastic last week. Thank you so much.
People wanted you back.
And really interesting topics. This is something that I think Kat and I, being kind of relatively new parents, will be going through in stages. So maybe it's good that we start at an earlier age. But if we had to cast kind of a broad web, social skills, we rely on them now as adults, one of the most fundamental and important skills that we need. But why essentially for a child is it good and important, vital to have good social skills?
I think just touching on what you said, you know, we have to learn how to function in society with different people. So for children to learn social skills is so imperative because they have to learn how to not only develop relationships and friendships with people, but also to maintain them. So, you know, it's easy. We often think of the child who's very sociable as a social butterfly, but that's not always the case. We want children to learn how to function in society and how to be able to manage themselves in different environments.
Yeah, and it's quite funny that you say that. It's not necessarily being a social butterfly and being able to mingle with this person and that person, that person. So if you were to build a picture of what the ideal child with a good set of social skills looks like, what does it look like?
So it's not always the child who catches a lot of attention to them when they walk in the room. Sometimes it's often the unassuming child, the quieter child. A child with good social skills is a child who's often very courteous, they're very polite, they know when they enter a room perhaps to greet people around them. It's a child who's also able to express their feelings and to name it and to be able to recognize different cues and expressions from other people around them.
Empathy.
Empathy is a big thing, the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes. I mean, even as adults, it's something we have to always strive to learn. So for children, social skills is about human connection. It's about interaction.
I love the depth of connection. There's this amazing, one of the older boys at my little man's preschool. It's just so lovely. And he says hello and goodbye to Jack every day. And Jack stole 2 toys from the first day he arrived, walked in, took both of his little toys away. And he's still just, and every time I see this young man, I'm like, your parents are crushing it, dude.
They're doing so well.
That is not necessarily something that can be told, but it's learned through experience. So how do parents develop these skills in our children?
I think just as you said, it's about modeling behavior. You know, there's really simple, practical things you can do to teach your child how to be more, how to really establish their social skills. So, for example, if you're grocery shopping, have a chat with the cashier. Ask them how they're doing. Ask them, how their day has been. Your child will observe this and learn, when we are around different people, it's okay to acknowledge people around us.
Respect,
and it's about respect and just being considerate and knowing how to interact with people.
You spoke about the ability to express emotion in, I guess, somewhat of a mature kind of way. And I think one of the biggest things that a lot of parents fear is, let's say, taking a child to a mall or to a store and then they're on the floor and they are incapable of expressing that. So if you find yourself at that cross roads, how do you rein it back? How do you pull your child back? Is it about just sitting down with them?
You leave, dude.
You can't just leave them on the floor.
No, you pick them up under the arm and you get out.
But once you get home, how do you remedy a situation like that? Because I think we're talking about everything from a preventative point of view, but once you're there already, how do you remedy it?
It's so difficult. I think parents are often scared about what other people are going to say watching them, and it can be embarrassing. But one way to remedy it is to try to prepare in advance, for those meltdowns. So it's a lot about teaching your child, when you are feeling upset or when you're feeling angry, what you think you can do, or you can talk to me, or you can tell me what you need. So it's a lot about rehearsing this with a child, teaching them to name a feeling, and then teaching them how to manage that feeling in line with their development, of course, and their age.
Have a plan B, man. Code red. Code red. Code red. I mean, aisle 5. Code red.
We're leaving. All right, well, that was the first part of our discussion. We'll continue very shortly again with Kim Abrams, and we're talking about helping your child to develop good social skills, those important skills that will help them all through life, as Graham said a bit earlier on. But right now, let's get on over to the rest of the team.
Oh, well, Kim's still hanging out with us this morning, and that conversation is still going on. But I don't know if you guys know this, because today is National Drive-Through Day, and McDonald's are going big to celebrate. It's a gazaganga.
That's right.
It's a gazaganga.
If you love McDonald's like we do, then you would know that they are running that awesome campaign where you get a guaranteed reward just for upsizing your meal. Now, when you upsize, you get a scratch card like what Tabisa's got over there, and myself as well. And when you scratch, you reveal your code and follow the instructions on the back. You get a choice of amazing prizes like free movie tickets, shopping vouchers, and even forest adventures like ziplining. You know all about that.
Yeah, I know all about it.
Totally awesome.
Oh, well, and because today is National Drive-Through Day, when you go through a McDonald's drive-through between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. today, McDonald's will double your rewards. But get this, if you go through creatively by dressing up or decorating your car, McDonald's will double your doubled rewards. Yeah, that's literally 4 scratch cards, basically, and 4 rewards at the same time.
I love it. So ditch your lunch and your dinner and go straight through to a McDonald's drive-through and claim your guaranteed prizes. You'd be crazy to miss the opportunity. Well, why don't you check this out?
Hi, can I please have a chili cheese chesa?
Chili what?
A chili cheese double for a cheese boy.
Wow. What did they call your car?
We call it Double P. Beautiful Beatrice.
I mean the model.
Oh, the model. She's South Africa's next top model.
Pégale moto.
I didn't want to be cheesy, but finding it extra. I'm just preparing for the National Drive-Through Day.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it.
Double points over here, over there, everywhere from 11 o'clock till 8 p.m. today.
National Drive-Through Day.
It is National Drive-Through Day, and it's all about
Today.
like today is the day.
Every day, every Wednesday, man.
So how are you going to creatively rock up through a drive-through and get those 4 points?
So my thing is that I always order my drink first, right?
Okay.
So I always go, let's say, can I please have large Fanta?
Yeah.
No ice.
Okay.
And then I go, can I have such and such a meal with no ice? And fries with no ice. So just I always
so you're adding no
I always
ice
ask
to
for everything with no ice. And then by the time like you hit the third one, they're like, but how are you asking for a McFlurry with no ice?
No ice.
And then they go, pah! And I'm like, yeah,
But
got
you might even want to sing it
So
to
basically, I
them
was going to
today.
say, so you irritate them. You like irritate the person. They're like, what? What do you mean no? There's no ice in burgers. I don't understand. No, it is. It's like we've just been talking about. Just give them a laugh.
But there's also nothing wrong with like just like
Take the load off.
breaking off into like spontaneous quarter pounder.
Yeah, now that is what I'm talking about.
On the side, yeah.
Yeah.
A quarter pound.
And they're like, what?
Cadbury Dairy Milk shines a light on the generosity alive in each of us. Bring your old toys to any of Cadbury Dairy Milk's pop-up Little Generosity shops in major centres this winter and receive a slab of Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate. Get to Cape Town's Canal Walk Little Generosity shop from the 19th of July to the 5th of August with your toys, and let's inspire a little more Cadbury Dairy Milk goodness in the world.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hugely informative discussion for Kat and I this morning. Earlier in the show, family therapist, registered social worker, and very sociable being, Kim Abrams, of course, joined us here in the lounge to talk about the importance of developing good social skills and how parents can help their child with this, how practice and development of these skills will help them certainly in a later life, in their career, but also just enrich their lives.
Absolutely.
Better with mates, man.
Yeah. And you said earlier on, Kim, that maybe it's the more reserved child who's quieter, who has pleasant manners, that exhibits those good social skills that we're talking about. But what happens if your child is a bit too reserved? They're too shy, they're too quiet, introverted. How do you bring that out of them, those good social skills?
I think it's important to remember if your child is shy, it's not necessarily always a bad thing. You know, every child has a different personality, so we want to enable them to thrive. But one way parents can help the child who is more shy and just doesn't really enjoy social interactions is to role play with them. So practice different scenarios. So for example, you know, we're going to a family event, so what do you think you might do when you walk in the room? Sometimes children will say, I have no idea, and you can say, well, you might greet people and say hello, or how are you? You know, and if they're starting a new school and they're worried about making friends, you can encourage them, well, you know, perhaps introduce yourself. I always say to children, one way to start making friends is to give another child a compliment.
Not to steal their toy, dude.
No.
Come on,
Jack, I hope you watch it.
Just acknowledge something in the child, like something.
Generosity is a big thing.
Yes, and share. You know, role playing is such a key aspect to teaching your child good social skills.
When you say role playing, like I'm the Hulk, you're Thor, and we smash into the room. No, I really do get what you're saying, and it's so true. I think that even as children, as much as we love to kind of paint them with the brush of being, even in preschool, being little kids, their emotions are real, and it's an opportunity to start learning. Now, picking up from maybe the conversation that you guys were having last week, yesterday we discussed that the amount of screen time that kids are having is now impacting their mental health and leading to possible connection to disorders, to depression later in life. How does screen time at a younger age develop? Because we know there are some positives, but how can it affect social skill development, being too connected to the screen?
I think when we have an excessive amount of screen time, you know, it's social media, so we think, oh, well, we are interacting.
And there is a social element.
And there is a social element to where you are interacting, but it's on a very artificial level. So it impacts children because they still have to learn how to interact with people around them. The only way you can really know how to develop social skills is through human interaction. So if you're spending too much, if your child is spending too much time on the screen, it's fake in a way. They're not really learning how to pick up on facial expressions from other people, how to pick up on what other people are saying, so engage in two-way conversations.
The mood.
The vibe. Picking up on the vibe. It's vital.
And something that Monique and I usually pick up on is you go to a restaurant or maybe you're in a plane, and yes, you understand that parents undergo a lot of strain in raising a child, and so there's a need to sometimes disconnect a little bit, and so it's easy to put a tablet in your child's hand for them to kind of be focused there for an hour while you're at the restaurant or an hour while you're on the plane, but this is where they are so that you can relax. How do you kind of remedy that situation? How do you make that interaction and that interactive space more fun,
you have to play
more
the
conducive
with them, dude? I know where you're going with this. You have to get your console out.
Take away the game.
Play the game.
Take away the game and let's start talking. But how? Because it's very difficult to kind of judge it from one point and say do this, because you don't know how stressful it is in that particular family, in that particular environment. But what would your general advice be around that?
Okay, I always say, you know, try not to judge each other as parents. You know, everybody's facing their own battles.
Look at the screen when you say, just look at the camera and you say that.
It's so important. You know, everybody's facing different parenting difficulties. But I think, you know, it's important to develop house rules and family rules. So if it's dinner time, if it's family time where you're eating and sharing a meal, perhaps you change a rule that there are no devices. I think we also touched on this last week. There are certain practical things parents can do to enable their child to be more sociable. But play is vital. You know, children don't come home and say, oh, I've had a bad day, can I talk? They say, will you play with me?
I want to get my tracks out. Let's go.
And let's play. So that's how they communicate.
Maybe spend a little less time on your own screen might be the right example to set.
Kim, thanks very much. We hope you found that conversation enlightening. Interact with us on social media. Let us know what you thought about that. You can find us, of course. #Expresso Show.
Now, the idea of Mandela Day on the 18th of July was inspired by Nelson Mandela at his 90th birthday celebrations in London's Hyde Park in 2008, when he said these words. He says, "It's time for new hands to lift the burden. It is in your hands now."
And our girl Musa invited us to tag along with her as she did her 67 minutes for Nelson Mandela Day at her favorite charity, Kids Haven. Let's see what she got up to.
I'm at my favorite children's home, Kids Haven in Benoni, the east of Johannesburg. And I've invited you to join me for my 67 minutes for Nelson Mandela Day.
Kids Haven opened in 1991 to serve homeless street children and those in crisis in Ekurhuleni, east of Johannesburg. Everything they do is focused on protecting the children and giving them a solid future.
Moira, this is such an amazing space. Tell us about the story behind founding Kids Haven.
But in 1992, when we started Kids Haven, there wasn't that goodwill. Children actually were dying on the streets of Benoni. In fact, in 1992, 2 children died on the street of Benoni. There was a lot of animosity towards Kids Haven being started here and no support of any kind. But it was just a few good people came forward who also didn't like the circumstances and wanted to help and wanted to make a difference, and that's how Kids Haven started.
Tell us more about your journey and what are some of the challenges that you faced? Was the public able to help?
There have been challenges all along the way because people tend to not like street children. You know, they're like in the wrong space and in our hair, and you know, street children get blamed for everything. They're the ones that break in everywhere, they're the ones, but it's not true, because children wouldn't be on the street if they didn't need to be on the street.
Not only do you have a preschool on the premises, but what's also special is that you take some of the older kids to school. Tell us more about that.
So our children do start in our bridging school program. When they're ready for school, so if their behavior is stabilized a bit and we can find a space in the school, and some of our kids do very well. They're in a variety of schools. We use about 17 or 18 different schools around the area. Some children are very smart and some children need special education. And so you can imagine our transport up and down with schooling every day. But our children go to university, they study further, they do well, and you know that they always remain our family.
Currently in South Africa, we have a high number of street children. Kids Haven comes in as a service provider that actually helps in terms of addressing the issues that are affecting the children, because children are just children, but they don't necessarily leave their houses because they actually want to leave their houses, but because there are problems within their own houses, and then the issue of failure to parent them correctly, and as a result the children become uncontrollable. But Kids Haven comes in in that particular space to make sure that you facilitate some sort of children and parents engagement, and also trying to show parents in terms of what needs to be done, because children are just children and they need parenting, they need support, and so many kids are lacking parental care.
I think the main reason why I am here today is we wanted to make a change in people's lives who really needed it the most. And from our experience here today, we realized that these children need a lot of help and assistance. So we just wanted to help the little bit that we can. But this was a really eye-opener for us, and it really was a good experience. But also it makes us more conscious and aware of society and the people and the role that we as individuals can play. And also living out the dream that Madiba would have wanted us to.
We are here because we believe that we can give the children a second chance in life. We are able to give them the opportunity to belong, but more importantly to feel that they are part of a society who cares.
I'm in the presence of greatness with Billy, one of the kids who grew up at Kids Haven and is now a second-year business student at UJ. Billy, what does Nelson Mandela Day mean to you?
Being from a children's home, Nelson Mandela Day means a lot to me, because it's nice to see other people care for other people that have less than them and come out and spend the day with people who don't have as much. So it means a lot.
And how has today been?
Today's been an amazing day. It's been very busy. I haven't seen so much people come out to spend the day with other people and give back and just move away from their normal lives to be with other people. It's been really great.
What are some of the favorite activities that you took part in today?
Definitely the kids, the adults interacting with the kids, because they're babies and they still want to feel like they're loved and seen. So definitely that.
Kids Haven invited the public to spend some time with the kids with a list of activities they could take part in. Many arrived to give their 67 minutes and most stayed well after that.
Thank you so much for joining me here at Kids Haven during my 67 minutes giving back for Nelson Mandela Day.
You see, just like that. I mean, I think Musa showed it perfectly there. It's all about play, bringing the kids together and harnessing a beautiful environment for them to develop those social skills and ultimately become members of society that can contribute towards a greater South Africa.
Absolutely, and all of these things are around us all the time. I mean, you've got these daycare centers, you've got these charity centers and homes around us every single way. You just have to look next door and you'll find something to do. Princess, how about a croissant?
Please, please. And hey, have a look at our social media pages right now, especially on Facebook, where it is the end of the month, nearly. It's the 24th of July. And so the only dough we're talking about when it comes to the end of the month here is pastry dough. That's what we're doing in the kitchen. So we asked you about your favorites out there. Yeah, a croissant continues to be my very favorite. So Kerry Ann Rumdin said this. Good morning, guys. I prefer puff pastry to make a lovely chicken and mushroom pie. Yum.
Delicious. How's this one? Chew pastry to make lovely chocolate and custard eclairs. This is Millicent Hotze.
That sounds delicious.
So delicious.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Teresa Spinner says, morning Expresso fam. I love small pies from Woolies. Enjoy your day. Thank you very much for sharing that with us.
That's nice. Veronica Fester says, good morning Expresso family. I love phyllo pastry treats.
Yes.
Nice.
Absolutely. Says Princess, what are some of your favorite pastries?
The chicken ones.
Yes.
When you make like chicken pie.
Yeah, anything with chicken and pastry works well.
Princess doesn't want anything to do with anything else, just the chicken. Just the chicken. Continue to let us know on Facebook what your favorite pastry is. We're going to be making some really awesome treats here in the kitchen. Want to hear from you. It's Expresso Morning Show, SABC3 on Facebook. Use that hashtag Expresso Show. In the meantime, we're going to take a break. Do you want to share this?
Let's do that.
Yeah,
let's break it in half, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that.
Just some. Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Enjoy a moment in between with McCafe. See you after the break.
very good morning to you. Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso on SABC3 at the start of a brand new day. Now, DDEM Management, which is a Cape Town-based events and marketing company, launched their People's Choice Awards on social media, which had the public in great excitement. In fact, over 10,000 votes were cast throughout the various categories. And guess what? Your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso came out tops in the Best Morning Show category against Morning Live and the Morning Show. That's amazing. That's amazing. Come on.
Ambassadors for DDEM Management, Maxine Wild and Dorian Sanders joins Expresso to share in the excitement with us. So please give them a very big Expresso welcome, everybody. Woo! And of course, Dennis Davids here as well. So good to have. I'm guessing that DDEM is Dennis Davids?
Correct.
Okay, that was a long shot there. I had no idea.
But do tell us about these awards and the prestige that that it has in terms of Cape Town and South Africa at large.
Okay, so I originally launched DDEM Management in 2011 after having quite a lengthy experience, or rather, experience in marketing, being the marketing and events coordinator for Boston City campus. Yeah. So what we did was 8 years ago we launched the Face of DDEM, which received quite a bit of interest from the public. Yeah. We have received a lot of responses from brands to get on board, and recently we hosted an event, and one of our clients that we dealt with gave us such exceptional service, and we thought to ourselves, you know what, there's such a lot of brands out there that don't get the recognition that they deserve. Wow. And that is basically where it all started. Yeah. And we thought to ourselves, let's take it to the public, let's hear what the people have to say about giving recognition. Yeah. And we put the idea out there, and it just grew, and I mean, the public just ran with it.
That's amazing.
That's powerful, because it really is the people's choice. Yeah. You know, I'm so, I believe in the fact that every single day people choose to watch this show. You know, they invite us into that space, and it's something that should be honored. And I love that you've given them a platform. Why do you think that, you know, recognition of this nature is so important in South Africa and in the events space as well?
Yeah. I think it's important because, you know, you get what they call the big fish and you get the small fishes. Yes. And I think with giving recognition, I think we have a platform which we created where we have seen how we grew from a small business. Yeah. We're not big yet, but we're getting there. Yeah. And I think with the public having such a big influence on our businesses, that, I mean, we couldn't go wrong by just tapping into it and doing it that way. Yeah.
Awesome.
And in a space where I think where we're trying to grow the South African market and trying to get the public to recognize the quality within our services, our products here at home, it's so important to be able to give them the option of going, hey, you give us your voice and you tell us, what are you using, what are you watching, what is your vibe out there, and what is really serving that for you. Maxine, I mean, obviously it's a great honor for us as the Feel Good Breakfast Show to have won this award chosen by the people, but what do you think this says about the impact of the Expresso Morning Show on the people out there?
Well, I think that Expresso Morning Show is more than just a show. It's a platform where people can engage, where they can be entertained. You know, it's that little boost of inspiration and education in the morning. Yeah. You know, and I definitely think that this is an award of a token of an achievement and acknowledgement, definitely.
So good.
So good indeed. Darian, now I know that one of your partners, or one of our partners, Protea Hotel by Marriott, also won in the category of Best Hotel in Cape Town. Congratulations to them as well. What are the details on the final prize giving?
With regards to the prize giving, it is a surprise. So we have a meeting next week with Protea Hotel Sales and Marketing Management to go through the final arrangements for the event now. Yeah. We're hosting the event in line with DDM's 8th anniversary. So of course, more of that details will be on our social media platform. Yeah. So, but we can confirm that all the winners will be at the event. So it's like a nice event occasion to have all the brands under one room to celebrate a night of recognition.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. By the people.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the people, by the people. Loving it, loving it.
Thank you very much for bringing it around.
Exactly, and thank you so much to being here. And of course, Maxine, fabulous. You can leave that outfit here. I'll just be borrowing it for the weekend. Of course, you've got the actual award with you here as well. Do you want to show it to us?
We do.
Surprise!
Look at that. That's amazing. Thank you very much. This is where we stand and come stand, Leanne. Here we go.
Photos.
And there's the camera. Oh my gosh, Thank you very much, guys. This is an exceptional honor. And thank you to everyone out there in the public who has voted to make us your favorite morning breakfast show.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
man.
An award-winning breakfast show. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. You're on that team, buddy. You're a part of that award.
I
So
am,
with only 7 days left for you to enter South Africa's biggest and most popular, we've proven that, Talent Scout competition. We are encouraging, urging, prompting you to submit your video entries via Instagram to show us what you've got, what it takes to compete on Present to Search on 3, the Expresso edition. So we're looking for 2 new presenting faces to join our Feel Good Breakfast Show family. We're opening up the industry and we're about to pick the brain of our previous winner, Tabiso Makumbela, to find out what it takes to be a part of the most energetic, undoubtedly, morning show in Mzansi. It's a little bit crazy here. Your crazy kind of matches our crazy.
It is totally insane.
Dude, so, you know, lately, I've been obviously prompted to tell you a lot how proud we are of you. I think maybe the Present to Search thing kind of has made me take stock of where you started and how far you've come in a very short space of time. The growth has been incredible. So we are really proud of you. So well done,
Thanks,
dude.
G. Thank you.
What has that growth experience been like for you? What has this journey revealed within yourself and your career?
It's been insane. I think, first of all, to say that it's a new and a totally different life altogether would be an understatement of what the experience has done and what the experience means for me. But I think what it's done is it's really taught me so much about myself. You know, at my age, and anyone who's like 27, 28 thinks they know everything there is to be known about themselves. You think you've got it all figured out and you know yourself. But this experience, just starting off the Present to Search on 3 experience and then getting onto the show, has shown me parts of myself, exposed them to me that I never knew existed. I've become so much more confident in myself. It's taught me that. And that spills over into every other thing that I do in my life, you know, every other thing that I get to do outside of the TV show. And that's just amazing. But it's also given me access to spaces and people that I otherwise wouldn't be able to meet if I wasn't on this show. I get to meet some incredible people on the show. And the connections that we build and we make outside of the show are just so incredible.
No, completely. And I think the connections within the show, that's always the most gratifying part for me, is making, you know, close friends, because you've thrown into a very different, energetic space here. That step up from just doing Present to Search to actually hitting the ground running and being on a live TV show, what advice do you have for those contestants that are taking that brave step, that right now are recording their video to post on Instagram?
I think the most important thing, and the first one, has to examine and dissect within yourself the reason why you're wanting to be on TV, the reason why you want to be on Expresso. Expresso is such a uniquely different show to any of the other shows. Your reasons for wanting to be part of this family have got to be so real. Because if you are not the person that is the right fit for this type of show, and for this show in particular, you are going to crumble very quickly, and it'll come across. Do you know what I mean? I think find your reason, find your why you want to be on this show, but also just dig into yourself and allow yourself to peel off any layers of yourself that might not be real about you. Because if you don't,
live TV will do it for you.
Live TV will do it for you. But forget live TV. You might not even get onto live TV. You will quickly get eliminated before that phase.
And it's such a growth opportunity. It's a masterclass in television presenting, but also in human nature. And you've got that opportunity. Ask yourself right now, do you have what it takes to join the ranks of the likes of us crazy people on South Africa's now award-winning breakfast show? Thank you for that. Then please do it right now. Record a video explaining what makes you unique and what you are going to bring to this Expresso family. Make sure you show everything that you've got. Post that video on Instagram using the hashtag Present to Search on 3, and the team will find your application and we'll bring you into the judging rounds. If your application is successful, you'll be contacted and invited to audition for a panel of judges. But remember that you must introduce your name, where you live at the moment, and don't forget the hashtag Present to Search on 3. That's just the starting point. And those entries are going to close on the 31st of July. But you
7 days.
7 days, guys. The clock is ticking. All the details and the full T's and C's are available. Present to Search on 3.com. Good luck.
Present to Search on 3 is back. And this year we're hunting for 2 new faces on the Expresso Morning Show.
Do you have what it takes to join South Africa's award-winning breakfast team?
Then record a video telling us what makes you unique and what you would bring to the show.
It's the start of a brand new day on your feel-good breakfast show Expresso on SABC3.
Post your clip on Instagram using the hashtag #PresenterSearch on 3 and we'll find you.
And don't forget to introduce yourself and tell us which city you live in.
If your entry is successful, you'll be contacted and invited to audition in front of a panel of judges.
We're looking for creativity.
We are looking for personality.
And above all, we're looking for new members to join our family. So show us everything you've got.
Closing date is midnight on Wednesday, the 31st of July, so get those entries in now.
This is your time to shine with Presenter Search on 3, the Expresso edition, only on SABC3.
The stage is yours.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you. Hey, welcome back to it. It is your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso Live right here on SABC3. When you hear this tune playing right now in the background, you know exactly what time it is. It's a celebration of your birthdays, and we've received lots of them, and you too can wish your loved ones on email birthdays@cardova.tv if you want them on here and on the TV screen. We've got lots of them to get through.
Absolutely. Ria is turning 7 years old today, and the message says, you make each year brighter and you continue to illuminate our lives with your smile and your kind heart. Your birthday brings happy memories and a reminder of how you continue to bring joy to our lives. You will always be our sunshine. Blessed birthday to our beautiful Princess Ria. Love from Mum and Dad. What a beautiful message.
Happy birthday,
Thank you very much to
Happy
that.
birthday.
Then Nolan rather, celebrates his crowned birthday today. We wish you strength, love and happiness. Thank you for always being there for us. P.S. As long as you keep taking my side when I have an argument with your brother, you will keep receiving cool gifts. This is from his sister-in-law Tash and his brother Joash.
Oh, well, happy birthday. That sounds a bit corrupt, doesn't it? A bit of a corrupt birthday wish. Here's one for Shanice Colbert, who's turning 14 years old today. Happy birthday, Shanice. I'm guessing this is from all your loved ones. They absolutely love you and they wish you well on your birthday. Happy birthday, pretty princess. And we've got another one here for Abdul Muhaimin, who is turning 7 years old today. May you be blessed beyond measure. This is from Mum and Dad. Happy birthday, Abdul Muhaimin.
Then a message says, we want to say thank you to our Heavenly Father for adding another year to your life, Dante. I may not be there to wish you in person, but know that you are in my heart. I ask God to bless you many, many more years, and may He answer all of your prayers and keep on doing your best in school. We love you so very much. Miss you, my big girl. And this is from Mommy, Uncle Quentin, Mika, and Caden, wishing Dante a happy birthday there. Then also happy birthday to the most kind and caring person ever, Lehumo Mudise, who is turning 10 years old today. We love you to the moon and back. And this is from Oriabeti and Auntie Ntabi. So happy birthday, Lehumo.
Happy birthday, Lehumo. Guess who's turning 12 years old today? It's Daniel Joha. Daniel Joha, hey.
Look at that.
12? Oh, so
that's
obviously
a
it's a
baby
throwback.
picture.
Okay, all right.
You don't
all
look
right.
like that forever
All
when
right.
you're 12.
I was concerned. I was getting a little bit
What's wrong with
concerned
you?
for Daniel. Oh, thank goodness for that, Daniel. Daniel Joha, your family here says we wish him a very happy birthday. May God grant him all his heart's desires. God spare you many, many more years to come in Jesus' name. Happy birthday,
I'm
Daniel.
like, in Jesus' name, do you know that you were a baby at one point in your life?
I know that, but yeah, you know what? These things happen. It's fine. And then here is one for it's Elizabeth. Hi, Expresso team. My kids, Hugrin, Tamarin, and Tyrone want to send out a shout out to their grandma, Elizabeth Sylvester, who's turning 55 years old today, and they've sent in a video. Let's take a look.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Grandma. Happy birthday to you. God bless you today. God bless you always. God bless you and keep you. Happy birthday to you.
They got to the key.
Hip hip hooray! Happy birthday!
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Oh,
With the
happy
harmonies
birthday.
and everything
I love
that
it.
you.
These kids, Hungrin, Tamarin, and Tara, they're ready to start a band, man. Happy birthday, Grandma Elizabeth Sylvester. Happy 55th birthday.
Yeah.
We got one more.
We also have a video for of little Dalito enjoying her first birthday. Look at this.
Tino mutenda o mwari wakanaka. Hallelujah o mwari.
I love it. I love it.
I
With
love
the hands.
it.
You always got to get the hands.
She obviously knows that song and she's heard it a number of times and she knows what it means. Happy birthday, Dalito. That's a beautiful, cute video.
Yeah. What was the heart, eh?
Yeah.
And of course, we'd love to make your day special if it is your birthday. So send through all of your birthday shout outs. Of course, we love videos like that. The number to WhatsApp to is 071 640 6551. I'll give it to you one more time. 071 640 6551. Send us those messages, the pictures. We love the videos as well, with the songs and the choreography and all of the fabulosity. And listen, if it is your birthday today, happy birthday.
In your national news this morning, Finance Minister Tito Mboweni yesterday announced plans to recapitalize the SABC, Eskom, Denel and South African Airways. Mboweni made the announcement yesterday when tabling the Special Appropriations Bill in the National Assembly. Eskom will receive 59 billion rand over the next 2 financial years and the SABC 3.2 billion rand to be released in chunks as certain conditions will have to be met to ensure there's progress in improving the organizations. Mboweni said the financial support measures will come from the contingency fund. Some 3,000 dwellings have been affected by flooding in various informal settlements across Cape Town as 2 cold fronts made landfall yesterday. Roofs have been damaged by strong winds, numerous roads are flooded and storm-related electricity disruptions were experienced. The fairly widespread light snow over almost all the peaks in the southwestern Cape is expected, or rather in the southwestern Cape is expected to continue, with the South African Weather Service warning of disruptive snowfalls of up to 20 centimeters possible over some of the higher peaks in the Western Cape. Now moving further abroad, authorities in Singapore have seized almost 9,000 kilograms of elephant ivory, its largest ever seizure to date. It's estimated that the tusks, valued at $13 million, have come from nearly 300 African elephants. Some 11,000 kilograms of pangolin scales, valued at $35.7 million, were also seized. They're believed to have belonged to about 2,000 of the endangered mammals. Officials discovered the animal parts after they inspected a shipment from the Democratic Republic of Congo that was passing through Singapore on its way to Vietnam. Boris Johnson yesterday won the race to become Britain's next Prime Minister, but will soon face a confrontation over Brexit with Brussels and members of his own party, as well as a tense diplomatic standoff with Iran. The 55-year-old former London mayor easily beat his rival, Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt, and will be confirmed as Prime Minister today when his predecessor Theresa May formally tenders her resignation to Queen Elizabeth. In charge of a budget of some £800 billion, the UK's military and the power to press the nuclear button is a role that carries supreme responsibility. And finally, scientists have just discovered a new species of pocket shark in the Gulf of Mexico, which is only 4 centimeters long and glows in the dark. They have named it the American pocket shark. It has several unusual features that are described in the journal Zootaxa, including a pouch near the front of its fins, which squirts out puffs of glowing bioluminescent fluid clouds and light-producing glands that look like little lights all over its body. Now, Henry Bott of Tulane University in the U.S. state of Louisiana said that the unique shark only further proves how little researchers know about the deep waters of the Gulf. Think all sharks are big and scary? Well, we definitely need to think again. Well, that was your 7 o'clock news update. Let's get another look at what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Graham.
Well, again, reinforcing that little can indeed be mighty, Tennis South Africa has launched the National Primary School Championship, which will target disadvantaged schools in the country in an aim to grow tennis participation in rural areas. The championships will see teams consist of 4 players and a manager or coach, and South Africa's #1 tennis player and 11th ranked in the world, Kevin Anderson, will be the official ambassador for the development initiative. Then back in the pool, South Africa's swimming superstar Chad Leclerc progressed to the final of the men's 200-meter butterfly event at the FINA World Championship in Gwangju, South Korea yesterday. The Olympic gold medalist finished second in his semi-final, making him the 5th fastest overall. But we know he's still got plenty in the tank. The final is set to take place on Friday. South Africa's Tatiana Schoenmaker finished 6th in the 100-meter breaststroke final. And then the Olympics are coming. Today marks 1 year until the start of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, which is scheduled to take place from July the 24th to the 9th of August next year. The global showpiece will feature 339 events in 33 different sporting codes, with the addition of 5 new sports, including surfing, skateboarding, karate, men's and women's baseball, and sport climbing. Very exciting stuff. That's where we leave our sport for now.
Thank you, Graham. South Africa, if you're planning to head out onto the roads, here's a quick road or traffic update. Starting off in Gauteng, out in Bedfordview, where there has been an accident that's on the N12 eastbound after the Gilulas interchange. The middle lane is blocked, so please do approach with caution. And if you're in the Western Cape and Kuils River on the R300 southbound, there are animals after Van Riebeck Road obstructing the left shoulder. Delays can be expected, so please do keep a lookout for that. And off to the train lines, the T9902 train from Chris Hani to Cape Town is delayed and stationary at Philippi. This is due to a defective set. Please allow for additional travel time. The next report will be in just over half an hour. Here is Leanne with a look at the weather.
Don't fear the flu. Boost your immune system with Effaflu-C Immune Booster by Pharmadynamics. Effective, affordable healthcare.
We've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures. Gary Oakham sent us his sunrise from East London, where sunny conditions can be expected with a strong southwesterly wind and cooler temperatures, reaching a low maximum of 20 degrees. Also, Mark Nelson sent us his sunrise picture from Mkomas and KZN, where plenty of sunshine can be expected with a southwesterly breeze, reaching a maximum of 25 degrees today. Let's take a look at some of the other temperatures around the country. Polokwane, starting off with you will have a low of 5, rising to 25. The highest temperature in the country this morning is for Mbombela, with a low of 8, reaching 34 degrees. Pretoria, a low of 4, reaching 20 degrees. Plenty of sunshine for for Johannesburg at 3, rising to 17. And then, of course, Mahikeng with a low of 2, reaching to 21. A cold start for the morning. Klerksdorp, you're looking at -2, reaching 16 degrees. And then some high humidity for Kimberley with a low of 1, reaching 14 degrees. The lowest temperature this morning is for Bloemfontein with a low of 5, rising to 13 degrees, rather -5. And then Richards Bay 12, reaching 25. Pietermaritzburg 5, rising to 20. Durban 15, reaching 25. Mthatha a low of 0, rising to 18 degrees. There will be a southwesterly wind of 37 kilometers per hour for East London with a low of 9, rising to 20. And then some light drizzles for Cradock with a low of 3, reaching 16 degrees. A strong southwesterly wind of 39 kilometers per hour for Port Elizabeth with a high of 18 degrees. George, your low is 9, rising to 18. Sutherland, your low is 0, rising to 5. There will be occasional rain today for Cape Town with a low of 11, reaching 16 degrees. And then a couple of showers for Worcester with a low of 5, rising to 12. Springbok, your low is 5, reaching 13 degrees. And then Uppington, your low is 4, reaching 16 degrees today. Well, those are the temperatures all around the country. We'll have another update for you on the half hour.
So if you watched the rugby over the weekend, which I'm sure you would have done, you would be in great spirits because the Boks, of course, beat the Aussies 35-17 at Ellis Park. The perfect confidence boost, yes, in the Rugby Championship, but this is officially the build-up to the Rugby World Cup just around the corner in September.
Absolutely.
Feel it.
And of course, if you've dreamt of nothing else but going to the Rugby World Cup and watching the Boks play, then you're in serious luck because Nedbank and MasterCard are offering their card holders one of 9 exclusive experiences to Japan to attend the Rugby World Cup. And get this trip includes all of your airfare, luxury accommodation, day tours, and tickets to the final.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, what?
Oh, the joy is all you have to do is swipe, tap or scan your Nedbank MasterCard on a purchase of 700 Rand or more. The entries are unlimited and automatic.
Absolutely, and if that wasn't easy enough, then leading up to the World Cup itself, Nedbank are also offering their cardholders a chance to win this weekly hamper valued at 3,000 Rand, which includes this the Rugby World Cup ball, a new 2019 Bok jersey, and of course loads more within this lovely package. Of course, SMS the keyword Nedbank and your name to 33728, and we have 8 to give away, so get SMSing now.
Yeah, and if you're not a Nedbank card holder and want to be a part of the action, then head to nedbank.co.za/bucket list, where they've made it super easy for you to find the right account for you, the right one to match your lifestyle. You can sign up pretty simply. All the terms and conditions that do apply can be found on expressoshow.com.
Yeah, and of course we'll see you after the break. Get entering. Good luck. See you at the World Cup. Because we're going.
Money.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
When it comes to planning for those major events in our life, we tend to think about birthdays, maybe a wedding day, but there is one major life event that most of us don't really consider planning for at all, but probably really should. That's our funeral. And whilst it may seem slightly grim to think about it, or even talk about it, taking out a funeral plan can give us peace of mind, first of all, but most importantly, take that burden off our loved ones during a very dark time in their lives. And here to break down the importance of a funeral plan is Rina Mabena from Standard Bank. I'm loving you because we have these deep emotional chats that have actually forced me to reevaluate what matters most to me, the legacy that I want to leave behind, but also what I can do in my job right now to help so many people. Every single one of us, every one of us is going to have a funeral.
Fantastic.
That's the reality of life. So welcome back. It is grim, I know, but it's something that we have to talk about. Why are funeral plans so important?
Good morning, and thank you for having me back.
Love it.
You have actually said it all in your introduction. It's about peace of mind. Peace of mind in knowing that should something unforeseen happen, we're all guaranteed to die. You have the financial resources for a funeral. You're able to have a proper and dignified send-off for yourself and for your family. So it takes away that financial burden off your shoulders and your family, and they then have one less thing to worry about.
I've heard now that more South Africans have a funeral plan than a savings plan or even life insurance cover. Is that
Absolutely.
true?
Absolutely.
Why do you think it's so important? What is the cultural significance for South Africa, for most South Africans, do you think that drives this?
I think firstly, it is very important to have a dignified send-off. And we know that funerals are very expensive. And death always happens when you least expect it. So you can never save enough.
Not when you're prepared. Yeah, there's no way.
You can never save enough for a funeral, or you can never save enough for death. So it's always important to have that policy available so that when death strikes, you have the financial means and resources for a funeral.
What should I consider when taking out a funeral plan? Because it's got to match my income, it's got to match my lifestyle. What matters most to me, I suppose, is ultimately what we are asking. Where do I start?
Okay, so firstly, you need to evaluate your short-term and long-term goals. You need to evaluate your financial situation. Obviously, go for a policy that you can afford. There are a number of available options in the market. For member only, those are single member policies, to family options. You also have different cover amounts available that you can select from, and they range from anything from 5,000 to up to 100,000, again, depending on your financial position. What you also need to look out for, some policies come standard with added benefits like your grocery benefit, which would normally pay a fixed amount on a monthly basis for a fixed period, and memorial or tombstone benefit. And on other policies, you have an option of adding that at an additional premium. You might also want to look, if you are taking care of extended family members, look for a policy where you can add extended family members, including your parents, at an additional premium. But also, you also have an option of taking out a policy for your extended family members, a third party, we call it a third party policy, where you become the premium payer and they become the insured members. So really my advice is that if you're looking for a funeral policy, it's important to consider and look at your needs holistically, but also look for a funeral policy that will give you value in life, because you have policies that have value-added benefits linked to them, like your doctor network, your emergency ambulance. Those are benefits that you can enjoy whilst you're still alive.
Oh, okay.
You then also need to consider a funeral policy that will give you a dignified send-off, so when they pay out that lump sum when there's death, but also the continuity piece. So it's three pillars, really. It's around value in life, it's around dignity, and it's around continuity.
When is the right time to take out a funeral plan, do you think?
The younger you start, the better. There's normally a minimum entry age of 18 years. You see, one thing that we all guaranteed of is death. We're all going to die. We just don't know when and how. but we're all going to die. So the sooner you start, the better. There's normally a minimum entry age, but there's also a maximum entry age. And most policies, maximum entry age is 64, so don't wait until you pass the maximum entry age. But also, if you take a policy now, you can always evaluate as you go. So as your circumstances change, as your needs change, as your financial position change, you can always evaluate and relook your funeral portfolio.
What happens if I don't have a funeral plan?
If you don't have a funeral policy and something unforeseen happens, you're going to have challenges paying for the funeral. Funerals are very expensive. You might have a savings account or a savings pocket, but that might be just wiped off by one event. And you might be expected to even pay an additional amount over and above your savings amount. So it is a risk that can be avoided by ensuring that you have a funeral policy in place.
And the other funds, like we've spoken about, even life insurance, it doesn't come immediately, and you want that money to be there for the living, for the people that you're leaving behind. Thank you so much. I've been worried that I'd cry in one of these sessions, and thinking about a lot of this does get quite emotional, but it's helping me a lot and hopefully helping our viewers a lot to just be practical about it and think about it till you find a solution that works for you. Thank you so much. I think that is a huge amount for us to process, but hopefully you're starting that internal conversation. Speak to your partner, speak to the people that are close to you. Consider what matters most to you ultimately and start finding the plan that works for you, for your income bracket, for your life, and your expectation of the legacy that you want to leave behind. And to consider the different funeral plans available to you. You can also ask for advice, and a great way to start, just SMS funeral to 31492. You'll get a call back and you'll get a quote that matches your needs. And of course, when you SMS in and get that quote, you also stand a chance of winning one of 6 Samsung S10 smartphones. We're also smiling. It's not all dark and gloomy. We really want you to think about this, and we're incentivizing you to think about it. So please get SMS and get thinking, and remember that those terms and conditions do apply. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Get an insurance quote and stand a chance to win one of 6 Samsung S10 smartphones. Simply SMS the keyword funeral to 31492 for a callback and quote, and you could be a winner.
And on that note, we have our very first winner who has won themselves a brand new state-of-the-art Samsung S10 smartphone, courtesy of Standard Bank, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. And the winner of this is Trevor Mtungwa from Chatsworth out in Durban. Congratulations. He even sent us a video to say thank you. Let's take a look at this.
Family, my name is Gaiso Bigumtunga, and thank you so much to Standard Bank for giving me an opportunity to win a brand new Galaxy S10. Woohoo!
Yeah! Yeah, Trevor.
Oh,
well done.
Now,
Congratulations.
we still have 5 Samsung S10 smartphones up for grabs. Yes, you heard right. All you have to do is SMS funeral for a Standard Bank quote. And when you get that call back for a quote, you are automatically in the running to win. So make sure that you get your SMSs in. And remember that T's and C's do apply and can be found on standardbank.co.za.
We'll see you after the break while you enter.
It's the Crazy Store's birthday, and to celebrate, Expresso will be giving away daily prizes next week. Each day, one lucky viewer stands a chance to win a hamper filled with epic Crazy Store goodies. Ensure that you watch Expresso this Friday morning to find out how you can enter. Don't miss out between the 29th of July and the 2nd of August. We could be calling you live on air to win your share of crazy prizes, thanks to the Crazy Store.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Check it out. Read It and Weep. Brand new award awarded by DDEM. Voted for by the public for you, saying that we are your favorite breakfast show in South Africa. Yes, we love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. And so we welcome you right now to our Wednesday edition, our Wednesday feature of the new feature that we have, or the Wednesday feature of...
brought to you every Wednesday.
Brought to you every Wednesday with this new guy who's just been on our couch for like the past couple of weeks. It's called So What Now? You know what we're talking about. It's the more unconventional side of the law, and we take a look at some interesting topics. And today we talk about the fact that we want to protect the rights and materials that are created by artists out there, how to go about doing that, and to offer his expert opinion from Legalese director Eitan Stern joins us.
Starting a band, baby.
We're starting a band. Good morning.
You guys look like you were doing that a bit earlier.
Yeah, man, I felt the vibe. I'm like the least musical person on the planet, but I can dream. I can dream. And that's what it's about. Starting a band is often a very passionate, emotional journey that's creating is very passionate, emotional, not very legal. And you're creating a commercial entity.
Yeah.
Is it, I'm going to ask this question on behalf of a lot of young people, a lot of people wanting to start bands or create in that space.
Sure.
Is professional representation, i.e. getting a record label, the best way to do it? Or have we left that behind us in this YouTube space?
We're digging straight in there.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I mean, what's the vibe here?
What's the vibe here? Okay, so... sure.
Loaded question.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I would say the most important thing when you're starting a band is firstly the music. You know, it needs to be be good. A lot of music out there, not all of it's good. So that's the first thing. And after that, there's a lot of legal aspects to it, because what you are doing is you're creating something which in today's world is given a lot of value.
Yeah.
You know, take Ed Sheeran. You know, I looked the other day, he has 4 billion views on his...
He's going to be a billionaire by 30, they reckon.
I'm sure
Isn't he already?
Yeah, no, he's knocking on that door.
So the stuff can be very, very valuable. So there's a lot of legal issues that go into it. You know, protecting your music, when you're working with others, etc.
Yeah.
To answer your question about the labels, so what is a label's job? A label's job is there to help musicians take their music, to create it and put it out there into the world.
Yeah.
And that used to be a very, very complex and, you know, high-valued thing that someone could do, because it wasn't always easy to put your music out there. The way the music industry's changed, and we literally are in that era that we're seeing it now, is that it is easier to put your music out there than ever before.
Yeah.
You've got overnight successes. You know, Justin Bieber was found off YouTube, I think.
Yeah.
You know, you've got overnight successes, you've got social media, you've got platforms like Spotify or Deezer where you can put your music out there and have people hear it. So suddenly the game has changed a bit. That you might not necessarily need a label in order to put your music out, which is great.
And as quickly and easy as it is to put your music out there, you want to take a step back, because this creativity and the creation of music happens very fluidly. So you might be sitting down somewhere, somebody has a guitar, they play a few chords, and boom, the idea sparks, and you've got a song that might be very successful in the future. But before stepping into a studio and recording that and actually making the product, what are some of the key things to get out of the way legally to make sure that
you guys have
everyone,
in place before
everyone
you
is
start
protected?
So there's a couple of things there. Firstly, you know, music and law were never supposed to be friends. You know, music is very fluid. It's a creative process, while law has these very kind of strict lines. You need to make rules.
Yeah.
So to answer the question, firstly, like if you are a couple of friends playing music, you know, you shouldn't let the legal aspects to it stop you from creating. And if you're doing that, like in saying, look, I don't want to make music with you because we don't have a contract, probably not the right place to be. But if you are a professional musician and that's what you do for a living, that's how you bring money in and pay for food, then you do need to start thinking about these things. And if you're going into a studio to record something, or if you are, for example, a young producer or any producer, and you're giving beats to a musician, a rapper, a singer to create songs from, make sure that you have something down on paper to say, look, I'm giving you this. If you use it, I own part of it, or you need to pay me for it. And if you don't have that, so if you're looking to make money for it and you don't have anything on paper, then you're looking for trouble somewhere down the line.
Then you're saying, so now what?
Then he's saying, so now what? And then you land up phoning legalese and we say, I don't know.
All right, we'll continue our second part of the discussion. Very, very cool stuff with Eitan Stern. Stay tuned.
Well, from the world of those looking to start bands straight into the cinema, we're taking a look at all those trailers that have come through. They are fresh, they're exciting in the last week. If you are big on movies and wanting to see what movies are coming up and you want your appetite to be set, JP Sebastian is officially in the house and he's going to be doing exactly that. You've got 3 movies.
My job is
movies?
completely easy when Comic-Con comes around in the United States, and so we've had major trailer releases from that celebration.
Yeah.
And yeah, 3 big ones this
Astra, I have to tell you, I'm always really excited to hear about a movie that has to do with traveling into space.
Although you probably wouldn't be able to say so much just from looking at the poster. I think it might star Brad Pitt. By the looks of things.
Might.
We're getting back to those old posters, where it's just like the actor's name
and their face.
We've thought of a titles in there somewhere. But yes, if you like the stories about like the vast expanse of space, then the story is about Brad Pitt like going past the edge of the solar system to find, according to what we can see in the trailer, his father, who is played by Tommy Lee Jones.
His father go there?
So previous mission goes a bit sideways, goes a bit weird, and it seems like the institution he works for, which I suppose is NASA, we'll find out, knows something that they just don't want to give him too much kind of information. Remember like Interstellar, where,
I remember that.
Matthew McConaughey doesn't know the true meaning possibly of the mission. So in this, the father's story comes back a bit weird. Is he up to something sinister? Will Brad Pitt have to go deal with his dad?
He discovers this.
Yeah, that his dad might be the bad guy from what we see in the trailer. But interestingly, like nice things that you see from it too is it's not just going to be like lasers and there is a chase scene actually where they're like space buggies firing lasers at each other, which is ridiculous.
But that's always the excitement.
But also it looks like it's absolutely. But it's like fueled on the character's memory. Like something's driving him forward. Questions from his past. Just being a boy to an older guy who's been absent, like in the vast expanse.
It's one of those you kind of have to sit and really pay real close attention. But when does it come out here in South Africa?
I hope we do pay good attention to it. There's no date in SA just yet. It's one of these strange movies that when Disney bought Fox, their film division.
They bought with...
So Ad Astra comes along to that studio, and so the marketing hasn't been as strong as other movies. So not a lot of people know about this one, but please go have a look at it. It looks beautiful.
They have made it. They have made
and
the
it's on its way this year.
Okay, It, Chapter 2.
I've, for the sake of those who are afraid of clowns, I've totally de-clownified this trailer. I think your kids will be fine watching what we're about to show you, but It Chapter 2 is the sequel to the previous one that we had. I think it was probably 2 years ago now. That followed the kids first, 27 years ago. This movie is 27 years later. So the adults come back, including Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, and Bill Hader is in there too. Bill Hader said something interesting actually about this movie that gets my appetite.
What did he say?
I really like him as a comedian and I respect his opinion on movies. He's actually a bit of a nerd in this realm too. But interestingly, he says that this It has the size, the scale, the scope, the magnitude of something like Lord of the Rings. I don't know.
Is that what he said?
I don't know how that's possible.
But is that because he's in
how they do that? I know they've got to market
and
you
I mean, you know, he's got to say something really good about it to get us to watch it.
But if you've got an ensemble cast like Jessica Chastain and James McAvoy and other just great names with a director who did a great job first time around, they probably are going to try something ambitious with something that was a childhood classic and messed some people up for a very long time. So, oh, by the way, the clown is in it. Like I said, I de-clownified the trailer.
De-clown the trailer. Very interesting. Always so cool to have you here. You're always the ultimate plug when it comes to giving us all those trailers and movies that we need to start thinking about, start checking out. Go watch those trailers on YouTube when you have a chance. But also, if you do come across anything interesting and trailers that you think JP should come here and talk about and sort of unpack, please do let us know. And we'll chat to you later.
Sure.
All right, we're back again with Eitan Stern as we continue our legal discussion over the rights of creatives out there. If you're creating art, making music with someone out there, who owns it? And that's the very first question that I want to ask right now, because yes, you did say before stepping into a studio, before collaborating with somebody creatively, have it on contract, have it on paper that this is the arrangement we have. But if you don't have that, principally, who owns what? Let's say we write a song together. Who owns the song? Who owns which part of it?
The band, surely. The boss,
Great question. Okay, so the way it works, so it's going to differ country to country. In South African law, the way it works is that when you create a musical work, a song, you write a melody, you write a song, the person who creates it is the copyright holder, and that's automatic. You don't have to register it, you don't have to tell anyone. If you create a song, you own it. But so, and that's important for us to also know when people are creating songs alone. But if you're creating a song with another person, what's the percentage ownership that you have? And the reality is that there are no hard and fast rules here. There's some industry standards, there's some things that people like to rely on, but there are actually no rules. And so the only way you can know is by having an agreement with the person, by saying, look, we wrote the song half-half, or you were the songwriter and I was just the drummer, or not just the drummer, sorry to drummers out there. You know, and that can be your arrangement with the people you're writing songs with, and every band is going to have it a bit differently. The way that I think it works quite well, and that it's actually a way that the band U2 are very famous for doing, is that they split everything equally. The four guys in the band split all of their songwriting equally, even though, you know, Bono, the singer, might
It's
be...
very much the brand.
Is very much the brand, but he's only able to be the brand because he's backed up by great musicians.
And that incentivizes the rest of the band members, I think, as well, to just, if they're not already equally invested, but just to stay that way.
Where does a good song start? It might start with a beat. It might start with a riff.
100%. And what I can tell you is that the thing which is a surefire way to break up a band is by fighting over ownership of royalties. And the reality is most of the time you're fighting over percentages of songs which are not going to make too much money, because that's not really how the music industry works today anymore. So
the money's in the shows.
Money's in the shows, exactly.
So that brings to bear the question around live performances. Yes. Does that change, and especially in this area, you know, where people are recording things or whatever? Can you get into trouble for recording a live performance and posting that online?
Okay, so there's quite a big difference, or industry difference, between, say, performing a song, a cover song, someone else's song, and recording it. And generally, I suppose while there could be copyright issues with performing it, generally it's pretty accepted. Where it does become an issue is where you are recording and releasing someone else's song. So if you enjoy a song, you know, and you want to make your own version of it, no problem if you want to sing it in the shower or do it in live shows, but it becomes an issue and you need permission if you're going to release that song.
Yeah.
And what's very important for people to remember is that, and for any musicians out there, when you are releasing music, there are two sets of rights that you have to look out for. The one is your master rights, the rights of the actual recording, and then you've got what's called the publishing rights, performance rights. And those are the rights of whoever wrote that song. So if you were the songwriter, you know, no matter how far down the line you're going to look at, no matter how many people who you've given permission to re-record your song, you're always going to be the owner of that, and you are going to be earning in each person. You're going to get a slice of the pie at each one.
So if I've created a song and there's some TV producer or film producer who wants to use my music in a TV show, a film, a commercial.
The Lion King, the
Lion King. Ooh, that one is very dodgy. Yes. What would you say? What's the process to follow there?
Okay, so, you know, when you've created a song, it's a thing of value like anything else, and if you're going to be letting people use it, then you need to have some sort of an agreement for what you get in return. So it's really no different from renting out anything, like renting out your car or your house or something. When you rent out your house, you allow someone to stay in there in exchange for money. So no different with a song. If you allow someone to use your song, your property, then you need to get some value back. So it's always just an agreement that you have with them. So that, you know, if a TV producer or a movie producer or an advert comes in and says, can I use your song? Then what are you going to get out of it? What are the terms? How long can they use it for? What can they use it for? What do you get paid? What happens if they what happens if they want to renew, etc. That's called a license.
Always ask for shares in the company in return.
Yeah, man.
Follow
Jack Nicholson's route to the Batman saga, still getting paid. So if you can go to legalese.co.za if you've got more questions like that. Also check out Samro. I know Luis Obalo and the guys are doing a huge amount to help protect musicians' rights, songs that you own. It's your creative process. It's your little baby.
Blood, sweat and tears.
Yeah,
man.
it's your blood, sweat and tears. So make sure that you protect yourself, but that starts by educating yourself.
That really brought that point back on his blood, sweat and tears.
Yeah, it is, man. Says the guy who's never created a song ever in his life.
My name is Nate Maps, and I was a contestant on season 8 of Tropical Island of Treasure. It was amazing.
I'm Sashi Naidu, and I was the winner of season 2 Tropical Island of Treasure Zanzibar. I can honestly say that even if I hadn't won, it was one of the best experiences of my life.
If you'd like to win that 1 million rand, make sure you enter season 9 of Tropical Island of Treasure.
Let fame and fortune find you in Carousel Tropical Island of Treasure season 9.
Tropical Island of Treasure, Curacao.
Welcome back. This is your feel-good breakfast show. Great to be in your company. So good to have you here with us. Start of a brand new day. Now listen, we all love it when comedy giants get together to shower audiences with laughter and hilarity. Now the popular annual Big Five comedy show is returning for another season, and this year comedians Skalk Bezuidenhout and Tats Nkonzo will be joining the bill. And the show is curated by the legendary Mr. Stuart Taylor, and he joins us.
Curated by.
Yes,
I like that.
Yes, it's a new.
Yes.
The new description
Not only
to your...
the MC, but the curator.
The curator.
The curator of
funny.
comics.
Of funny. And he's here to give us a little tidbit of what we can expect. Let's give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Stu is in the building. Is in the building. How are you, Stu? How are you?
I only speak after applause. It's in my rider. I would have been very quiet if you hadn't asked for applause.
But it's great to have you back with us, man. And the show obviously has been very successful over a number of years and keeps coming back by popular demand.
Yes.
What can people expect this year? I mean, obviously Big Five, linking the theme of the Big Five on the African continent. Is that the...
It's kind of that. The whole idea of the Big Five, I suppose, is that there are two things to them. The animals is that, number one, they're the most likely to kill you if you try and hunt them. But number two, they're hard to
kill audiences with laughter.
We're going to kill audiences with laughter. But no, and also that you just never get to see them all together. You know, they're quite rare to see together. And that's what the ethos is of this group of comics.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't do ensemble shows. A lot of them are just so busy touring not only this country but the globe.
Yeah.
So to get them into one city on one night is quite something special, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what the Big Five is all about.
If you had to link a correlation, though, between which one of the comedians represents... which animal in the Big Five, who would be who?
Shame, you know, whenever Jason Goliath is on, then they go, oh, they just go, elephant over there. But Jason's not on the Joe Berg one.
Yeah.
I actually don't know. That would be quite difficult. I don't know who's got the biggest eyes. Kurt Skunda's got the biggest eyes, so maybe a buffalo. Buffalo's got fairly big eyes.
He's mean like that. That's a friendly-looking buffalo there, man.
That is.
But also very exciting news is that you've got two brand new comedians on the bill.
Yes.
In Skalk Bezuidenhout, a man who's been doing incredibly well for himself, both on the acting scene and in the comic scene as well. And equally, a man who's so talented and has been doing great things, Tats Nkonzo.
Dude.
Man.
Is he not the most underrated act? I remember sitting in his one-man show and you were at that show.
Oh, man.
And in fact, he did impressions of you.
Yeah, he did.
that show.
I've never been ragged like that, but I quite enjoyed it. But that's how talented he is.
No, he's a phenomenal talent. Just won the Ovation Award in Grahamstown now. As you said, Skalk. We always, I mean, the whole idea, what is nice about the Big Five is that we've created a brand where there's so many comics kind of where it's what they're aiming to do.
Yeah.
So they go, what do I have to do in my career for this year to get onto that lineup? So for Skalk, it was how many movies and how many one-man shows. I mean, Skalk literally finishes the Big Five, then jumps on a plane and heads off to Edinburgh for a month because he's playing the Edinburgh Festival.
Oh, my goodness.
Do you know what I mean? So that's really the caliber. Someone like Tats played the Edinburgh Festival a year or two ago, I think, with his one-man show. So really, really amazing acts we've managed to get together for Joburg.
And of course, this is a very special year to have John Vlismus on the bill.
Oh, man, if you're a John Vlismus fan, this is, you want to come and see the show. John is sort of unofficially retiring from comedy. Can you believe it? The godfather of alternative comedy.
Wow,
he's moving into a different sphere. He's got one or two other projects on the go.
Yeah.
So he won't be able to do ensemble shows. This is, in fact, one of his last ensemble shows in Joburg. And the Cape Town Big Five comedy show at the end of the year is going to be his last public performance in an ensemble show. So if you're a John Vlismus fan...
That's incredible.
Find a flight to Joburg this weekend, man. You wanna, and you know what I love about John is that, like, I suppose everyone does this because there's a little bit of pressure on you. Because you go, ooh, these young acts kind of chomping at the bit over here. So when John, you kind of see John get that glint in his eyes, like, I'm going to show you, I'm still the one who needs to headline this. And so he brings it like 100%.
He absolutely does every single time. And of course, DJ Reddy D is part of the mix.
We've got
legendary, man.
We always have DJ Reddy D. People always go like, who's the comic that you choose first to be on the bill? How do you decide the lineup? I'm like, no, we first find a venue and a date, and then we call Reddy D and we go, are you
available?
Free? Yes. And if you're not, no, we'll change dates. No one can share. No one can slot in and replace Reddy D. He's absolutely amazing.
And of course, what are you bringing to the mix? So?
Well, I get to, you know what? For me, it's such a fun thing because the pressure is almost off me. I mean, I get to be the ringmaster of sorts. You know what I mean? I get to warm the audience up a little bit, try a little bit of new material, have a bit of fun. And if the jokes, if I go, oh, I shouldn't have gone there, I should have gone somewhere.
It's fine.
It's fine. I'm coming back.
Next up.
But also, I'll be back after that act to go, okay, cool, now you're better jokes.
Brilliant stuff, man. So are tickets already available? And
tickets available
on sale?
at computicket.com. You can go to ShopRite to check us, pick those up as well over there. It's this weekend at the Teatro at Monte Casino. We've got Durban coming up in September and Cape Town in November. Lineups change constantly. Later on, we've got people like Nick Rabinowitz and Jason Goliath joining the lineups as well. But this Joburg show, trust me, it's going to be fire, man.
Yeah.
I mean, when you start with Skalk Besaidnout and then end the first half with Kurt Skoenraad, it's like ba ba ba. And then you come back with Tats and Konzo, and then end with John Vlismus. Big Five comedy
and at a world-class venue that is a Teatro.
You know what I mean?
In Johannesburg.
It is really a cool
it's
show.
It's going to be quite a night, man. Thanks very much for joining us this morning and coming all the way, man.
All the way? You guys, you are closer to where I live now. Thank you.
Really?
Yes.
That's fantastic.
I don't have to drive over the mountain anymore. I might just pop in for coffee from time.
We'll come over to yours for coffee. Finally, you can invite us. No. Listen, make sure that you don't miss out on getting the best in South African comedy entertainment this weekend with the Big Five comedy show taking place at the Teatro Monte Casino in Johannesburg. As you heard, tickets do range between 180 and 350 bucks, and you can find them at computicket.com. Stuart Taylor, everybody!
All right, listen to this. It's winter.
Listen.
You're cold. You are bored. You are hungry.
I am.
You're stuck at work. You feel like you've been stuck at work for a fortnight. We know the feeling. We've been there. But it's time for us to teach you. The uncles are going to teach you now how to spruce up. to spruce up. We're going to be showing you how to spruce up your regular boring tea with a rooibos latte recipe that'll pair perfectly with an Oma rusk. It's just it's a fun way.
Worm Graham is going to sort you out this
morning. Worm Graham, Worm Tabiso, we're here to the rescue. Okay, so what have you got for us?
Okay, so rooibos is great. Full of antioxidants. It's great. It doesn't carry the caffeine kick. And I know people often rush to caffeine to get yourself pepped again, but it's an up and it's a down. Yeah. Whereas rooibos, really great pick-me-up at the office. And generally, you'll have some rooibos tea bags at the office, just like everything else that we're including.
Yeah.
So we're making a beautiful rooibos tea latte. Okay, so it's creamy. You can use an actual cream, but we've gone with full cream milk here.
Yeah.
Warm the milk up first, and then pretty much the two additions that we need to add are cinnamon to add the spice to make it a bit of kind of chai vibes.
Yeah. Pretty much all these ingredients can actually be found at the office, which is fantastic.
If they're not, someone's used them up and hasn't replaced them, which is a bit rude. And then some honey. So what we're going to do is you want to warm the milk up, let your rooibos tea bag steep for as long as possible, because it can take a little bit longer, especially in the milk. So let that steep, let it draw for as long as possible. And then we've got about 2 or 3 teaspoons of honey, depending on your palate. I'm going to mix that right in there now.
Okay.
Get that all in. Love the flavor.
So you're leaving the 2 tea bags in there so
just
that the flavor goes nice and strong and rich, which is
I'll take them out in just a moment. And then we're going to leave. we're going to put some of the spice, but we want just a pinch left over. And again, this is your flavor palette. You know what works and you know what doesn't. We'll leave that for our beauty shot afterwards. I'm just going to mix that all in together. Look at how lovely that looks.
Yeah, so this is what we're calling the Oma Rusks Stuck at Work mug. We're going to be using that, but this is our Stuck at Work sort of recipe. This drink is made to be paired with a buttermilk or condensed rusk. And of course, you can add cream, like what Graham said. You can add cream for extra indulgence if you have on hand. That's if your office actually has cream. And if they don't, maybe look for a job elsewhere. I'm kidding, no, don't do that. The keyword is drink. SMS drink to 33728. Drink to 33728. We'll send you an SMS with a link to the recipe, and you will learn how to make this yourself at the office. You'll be a hit
I'm creating
at the office if you can make this for everyone as well.
latte vibe with the smallest whisk in the history of kitchens, but it is actually working, and this makes it a little bit more zhuzh, which is nice. Make sure the cinnamon's all nicely mixed in. I'm glad you mentioned the variants of rusks. The buttermilk, one of the Mac Daddies, the OGs in the mix there, but the condensed milk, that for me would probably be the best one to pair it with. How beautiful does that look?
Looks amazing.
I'm just going to now try and measure that out in half.
Oh man, I can smell that cinnamon flavor coming through with the rooibos mixed together. Oh, it sounds so good.
Don't you feel invigorated already? It feels like you've dialed back like 20 hours of work already. And the nice thing is you can get sociable. You can make a mug of this for like your colleague. Great way to share a bit of a chat, to catch up.
Yeah.
Cheers.
But let's just sprinkle a little bit of
cinnamon,
just for the look,
much, eh?
just for the Instagram, you know.
There we go. Okay.
And then grab a Maraski, because it's nothing without the buttermilk rusk.
Thank you, Uncle.
Thank you so much. Well, this rooibos latte and Oma rusk combo is the ultimate pick-me-up for that office when you're stuck there and it's a day feeling like it's just going a little bit too long. So if you'd like the recipe sent through to you, can SMS drink to 33728 for the ingredients and a link to the full recipe. How's that?
I thought you were going to dunk in my mug.
No, I wasn't going to do that. Don't worry.
Okay, I thought you then you were going to do a link around thing. Come on, man.
Don't worry.
It's crazy. You're crazy, man.
Anytime is dipping time.
Nice, man.
Stuart Taylor, come get involved.
I don't know what you're going to taste, dude. But
What am I tasting? Who am I dunking in?
Okay, you can dunk in mine.
Nice.
I wash my hands more than Graham does his.
I know. I saw that Graham was doing lots of things over here to avoid putting the carbs in his mouth. Eh? Did you notice that?
This is a guy with a mouthful of food.
He's definitely not holding
but
back. Look at that.
It doesn't count in winter. Isn't that the case? Carbs don't count in winter.
That's good.
What do you think?
Cinnamon.
Yeah.
Cinnamon and a little bit of your spit. Delicious.
The perfect combo. SMS drink to 33728 and make this at the office. They'll love you. They will love you.
To be so, eh?
Where do you get your paving from? They've been around for so long. Where do you get your paving from? Their work is great, you can't go wrong. It must be Boss you're talking about. They're the best without a doubt.
One Boss for over 40 years makes Boss Paving the experts and leaders in paving. Call Boss Paving right away and get an amazing 37% discount with our unique lifetime guarantee.
Call Boss Paving right away.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it, your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso live right here on SABC3 on this beautiful hump day. Thank you so much for choosing to wake up on the right side of bed. Hopefully you get in that feel-good coming through. JP Sebastian is still here, giving us the latest in movie trailers. Jellicle Cats come out tonight. Jellicle Cats, come on, come all. The Jellicle moon is shining bright.
It's like you just put a spell on me or something. I don't know what you're saying. I've not seen the play. So whatever you've just said makes no sense to me. And I think I'm having an aneurysm. So
please tell me that there is some level of similarity between the play and the movie from what you've picked up off the trailer. Please tell me.
Okay, let me tell you before we show this trailer that South Africa, this is not personal. I'm not doing this as an attack on you. I'm going to show you the trailer for Cats, which some people have been referring to as nightmare fuel on social media.
No.
Expresso, roll it. Just let's get it over and done with. Let's all just watch in a moment of silence. Anyway, you can say some of the famous names on there. Jennifer Hudson.
Chrisabella, the glamour cat. Is she? Please tell me that she's in the trailer.
Again, you're like I'm a Philistine when it comes to stage plays. I'm sorry. You're oh my goodness.
Is that Nicki Minaj?
So if some of us were complaining that The Lion King was not expressive enough, please dial it back, Hollywood. Please rein it in. This is too much. Rather than just like, say, the stage play, get beautiful makeup artists, get people to put the further. No, what you're looking at here is humans who have been made tiny. James Corden there, for example, Dame Judi Dench.
Taylor Swift, is she in it?
Their famous faces pressed onto computer graphics. It's fallen into what they refer to as a very real thing in psychology, the uncanny valley, where something in most people's brains goes, something's not lekker here because it's almost too human, but not human enough. So there's this weird valley in between where you just
kids are going to get confused watching this. Let's just say.
Look, we don't know what it's going to be like in its final result, but this movie hopes to release in the same week as Star Wars. I don't know how it thinks it's going to compete.
Well, I mean, I suppose Star Wars speaks to a different audience altogether, but look, if you look at the cast here, you've got Idris Elba, you've got Taylor Swift, you've also got Jennifer Hudson, so when it comes to the vocals,
Jason
you know that
Derulo.
you are going to get real quality.
Yes.
Am I lying?
Maybe you can watch it with your eyes closed. I don't know. No, truly.
Don't be that guy.
Personally, Nightmare Fuel. Personally, I'm going to be a dog person for the rest of my life, but who knows?
Hustlers is another movie that's coming out.
And also with famous singer names in there too. We've got Lizzo and Cardi B. J-Lo is taking the lead with Constance Wu. Constance Wu, people first got wind of with Crazy Rich Asians. Adorable thing. Such a cute little one.
I just saw Cardi B. I just saw her name. I just saw Cardi B
like
on
in
the
real
screen.
life.
Like, just saw her now. On the thing, I'm surprised she is in this. I just got excited. I don't know. There's something crazy about Cardi B. You want to watch her be crazy.
And Cardi B is clearly one of these people who you ask her for 80% and she's going to do 110. She doesn't care. I dig that. And so the movie is outsized and over the top because it's based on the true story of exotic dancers who, as a large portion of their clientele, was Wall Street D-bags, as they refer to them in the trailer, who screwed people over during the great crash of 2008. And so this is sort of like a Robin Hood, but with strippers. So I suppose all the tights are there, but not the
When does it
merry
come
men.
out here?
The date for that, I believe, is September.
The 13th of September, that's when it's coming out here in South Africa. Top Gun Maverick, it's a big one.
Oh, they're doing a remake 34 years later, and it stars Tom Cruise. I really was kind of worried that this was going to be on piggybacking on remake mania.
Which everyone's doing now.
Let's just watch this trailer. It looks like it's going to be incredible. It looks like it's going to knock my socks off at Mach 3. I don't think that we've seen in any other movie before aircraft being filmed in this fashion. Maybe it's inspired in part, you can see almost like it feels like Star Wars, even some of the scenes from Star Wars. Hey, the plane goes up at the trailer and at the end it goes down because he's a maverick, driving straight towards the earth at high speed. Anyway, Tom Cruise, crazy as always, is doing the flying himself. Why does this man want to die? Like, please, someone just hug him, hold him. He should talk to his dad. Like, dude, he's such an entertainer. I have so much respect for him.
Top Gun is a big one, and it's obviously got like a whole lot of diehard fans who watched it over and over and over again. They're going to be impressed just based on the visuals that you've seen.
What's also funny, aside from the visuals, which, by the way, this movie was supposed to come out this week of 2019. It's only been released a year from now because the flight sequences were so complicated and so Tom Cruise threatening. No, that's sophisticated. Like, that's the real Tom Cruise in an F-14 14-day Grumman Tomcat.
Delayed by a year.
To make sure that no one dies.
Wow.
But aside from all that technical stuff that looks really impressive, please just go watch this with yourself with headphones on. It actually does do unashamed callbacks to him on the motorbike on the runway.
Yeah.
There's a topless scene of beach volleyball again, which was cheesy.
Well, the
as
ladies
all
are
heck.
going to be loving that over and over again.
I'm pretty sure. The fly girls and fly boys. But yes, super excited for this. I'm pretty impressed that they actually want to give you your money's worth for what could just be another remake no one cares about.
2020 July, that's when it comes out, it seems here, unless they just decide to just postpone it by another year. But it seems very interesting. All these movies you've brought us today, for me, my appetite is I'm buzzing to go check them out now. I'm excited about Cats, I'm excited about Hustlers, Cardi B doing amazing things, also Jennifer Hudson, but we can only do so much. Thank you so much, JP. Sebastian.
You feel excited? I just feel old watching Top Gun for
No, man. I'm excited. It's time for us to check out the news. JP will do this again another time.
Well, some exciting news to start off with this morning. Finance Minister Tito Mboweni yesterday announced plans to recapitalize the SABC, Eskom, Denel and South African Airways. Mboweni made the announcement yesterday when tabling the Special Appropriations Bill in the National Assembly. Now, Eskom will receive 59 billion rand over the next 2 financial years and the SABC 3.2 billion rand to be released in chunks as certain conditions will have to be met to ensure there's progress in improving the organizations, Mboweni said. Now, the financial support measures will come from the contingency fund. Some 3,000 dwellings have been affected by flooding in various informal settlements across Cape Town as 2 cold fronts made landfall yesterday. Roofs have been damaged by strong winds, numerous roads have been flooded, and storm-related electricity disruptions were experienced. The fairly widespread light snow over almost all the peaks in the southwestern Cape is expected to continue, with the South African Weather Services warning of disruptive snowfalls of up to 20 centimeters possible over some of the higher peaks in the Western Cape. Taking a look at the international front, authorities in Singapore have seized almost 9,000 kilograms of elephant ivory, the largest seizure to date. It's estimated that the tusks, valued at some $13 million, have come from over or nearly 300 African elephants. Some 11,000 kilograms of pangolin scales, valued at $35.7 million, were also seized. They were believed to have belonged to about 2,000 of the endangered mammals. Now, officials discovered the animal parts after they inspected a shipment from the Democratic Republic of Congo that was passing through Singapore on its way to Vietnam. In other news, Boris Johnson yesterday won the race to become Britain's next Prime Minister, but will soon face a confrontation over Brexit with Brussels and members of his own party, as well as a tense diplomatic standoff with Iran. The 55-year-old former London mayor easily beat his rival, Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt, and will be confirmed as PM today when his predecessor, Theresa May, formally tenders her resignation to Queen Elizabeth. Now, in charge of a budget of some £800 billion, the UK's military, and the power to press the nuclear button, it is a role that carries supreme responsibility. And finally, Gauteng veterinarian Dr. Cliff Bull received a most unusual call-out on Monday morning when the SPCA asked him to remove a young leopard from a Benoni home on the East Rand. With the young leopard trapped in a laundry room, it was virtually impossible to access the confined space without being attacked. So Bull asked one of the bystanders to provoke the animal while he positioned himself at a window with a dart gun and managed a clear shot on the big cat's right shoulder. Bull's guess is that the leopard had escaped from an enclosure. The leopard was handed over to a wildlife rehabilitation team to evaluate it and assess when and where they would release it. And that's a roundup of your headlines this morning. Right now, let's take a last look at what's happening in the world of sport with G.
Wrapping up those major sporting headlines this morning on the tennis front, some fantastic news as Tennis South Africa has launched the National Primary School Championship, which will target disadvantaged schools in the country in an aim to grow tennis participation in rural areas specifically. So the championships would see teams consist of 4 players and a manager or a coach, and South Africa's #1 tennis player and ranked 11th in the world, Kevin Anderson, will be the official ambassador for the development initiative. Then in the pool, South African swimming superstar Chad Leclos has progressed to the final of the men's 200-meter butterfly event. That's at the FINA World Championships in Gwangju, South Korea yesterday. The Olympic gold medalist finished second in his semi-final, making him the 5th fastest overall. But he still has plenty in the tank. The final is set to take place on Friday. South Africa's Tatjana Schoenmaker finishing 6th in the 100-meter breaststroke final. Then the Olympics are coming today. Marks 1 year officially until the start of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, which is scheduled to take place from July the 24th to the 9th of August next year. Global Showpiece will now feature 339 events in 33 different sporting codes, with the addition of 5 new sports, including surfing, skateboarding, karate, men's and women's baseball, and sport climbing. And that's a wrap of our sport for this Wednesday morning.
Thank you very much, G-Man. Let's take a final look at your roads. Starting off in KwaZulu-Natal, in Durban, there has been an accident on the N2 northbound. That's before the Arbor crossing. Delays can be expected leaving Toti, so please be patient on the roads this morning. In the Western Cape, in Gugulethu, on the N2 outbound, there has been an accident after Airport Approach Road obstructing the ramp lane. Delays can also be expected over there, so please approach with caution. And off to the train lines, all inbound and outbound Lavistown trains are temporarily suspended. That's between Cape Town and Bellville. Commuters are advised to please make use of an alternative mode of transport this morning. That's where we leave it for today. And now we take a final look at your weather, but first we say thank you to Duncan Lawrence for your sunrise from Bloemfontein, and Dreamy from Mark representing Scottsboro out in KZN, as well as Gary Okamp for your beautiful sunrise from East London, and lastly Mark Nelson for your sunrise from Umkomas out in KwaZulu-Natal. Beautiful, beautiful pictures. Let's do it again tomorrow. And now we take a look at those temperatures, starting off in Polokwane, a low of 5 reaching a max of 25. The highest temperatures in the country, that's Mbombela today. 8 is your low and your high is 34. Pretoria 4 reaching a maximum of 20. Johannesburg, you can expect some sunshine, plenty of sunshine. In fact, 3 is your low and your high is 17. Mahikeng 2 reaching a maximum of 21. Klerksdorp -2 reaching 16. You've got the coldest start to the morning today, and high humidity for Kimberley 1 reaching a maximum of 14. The lowest temperatures in the country, that's Bloemfontein, -5 is your low and your high is 13. If you are out in Richards Bay, 12 is where you start off, reaching that peak of 25 degrees. Pietermaritzburg 5 your minimum and your maximum is 20. It's sunny out in Durban today. 15 is your low and your maximum is 25 degrees. If you are out in Mthatha, 0 and 18. You've got a southwesterly winds traveling at 37 kilometers per hour for East London. 9 is your low and your high 20. A light drizzle today for Craddock. 3 is your minimum, reaching that maximum of 16. And if you're in Port Elizabeth, you've got strong westerly winds traveling at 39 kilometers per hour. Your low is 8 and your high is 18. In George today, minimum of 9 reaching a maximum of 18 degrees. Sutherland 0 and 5. And Cape Town, you can expect some occasional rain. 11 is your minimum and your maximum 16. A couple of showers for Worcester today. It's 5 reaching a high of 12. If you're out in Springbok, 5 is your minimum and you will reach that max of 13 degrees. And lastly, let's take a look at Uppington. A low of 4 reaching a high of 16. It sounds like a clear day in most parts of the country, but whatever the weather, make it a feel-good type of day.
Yeah, it's a good day, definitely. And our good day starts with a cup of the best grind from Sis Princess, and lovely coffee served up with so much love, eh?
What is the key here? The deliciousness of the coffee, because it's the smell that gets me first when I walk in here, and the brew is wafting through. What makes the coffee so good, Princess?
It's because it's 100% Arabica beans.
Not 99, not 98, not 99.5%.
How much is Princess?
100%.
How much percent?
100.
Yeah, baby.
That's how we keep it here on the show. We keep it 100.
Enjoy a moment in between with McCafe. See you after the break.
Science reaches for the truth. It works for the big and small, for the old and young. And with knowledge as our first ingredient, science is at the heart of our food. For differences you can see, feel, and trust. It all starts with science.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone.
Culinary hotline bling.
That can
Yes,
only mean one
yes,
thing.
it's that time of the week. It's a Wednesday and time for the culinary hotline bling. Ding, ding, ding. Yes. Oh, and it's an exciting one today because it's all about the pastries. And we know that making your own pastry can be very intimidating for most people out there. Well, for me at least it is. And I buy mine at shops. I tend to do that, of course. But here to tell us more about the different kinds of pastry doughs that are out there, that are available, and what to use them for, we have the lovely pastry chef Grace Stevens and, of course, Peter Abe, who's joined us in studio. Good morning to you. Welcome to the kitchen.
Awesome to be here.
Last time I saw you, Peter, we were at a golf course.
I was,
enjoying a beautiful sunny day.
And your beautiful little boy was with you.
Yes, he was. And soon he'll have to get into the world of pastries as well, because his dad loves pastries. But let's talk about, is it the essential pastry? Is it phyllo pastry, phyllo pastry? How do people actually even say this word?
Well, you know what? As Grace is probably one of the best pastry chefs, I'm gonna bounce a lot of things off her.
Yeah.
Bounce away.
Bounce away. So, phyllo, phyllo.
What do you say?
Wherever you are in the world, depends how you pronounce it.
I think
pretty
it
much.
is. It's very much where you are in the world and how you say it.
All dependent. So let's not worry too much about that. But let's talk about why it is such an essential part of pastry pastry cooking, and what you can use it for.
Okay.
Pastry has a different role for everything that you're going to fill it with.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you pick your filling and what you're going to do with it, and then you pick the pastry that suits that filling.
So the equation works
Am
that
I right,
way around.
Absolutely. You know, the amazing thing about this phyllo in South Africa, or phyllo, whatever you want to call it, is because it's frozen, we don't get fresh. Okay. Then what happens is when you take it out of the freezer, which you buy from the store, you put it into your kitchen and it comes down to room temperature naturally.
Okay.
The problem with ours is because it's been frozen, when you work with it, you need to put a damp cloth over it. Otherwise, it just cracks.
Okay.
So that's probably the most. If you're talking, I mean, I cooked in Turkey for a long time, so their stuff, because it's fresh, you don't have to do that.
Why don't we get fresh phyllo pastry here?
Have you ever seen how hard it is to
Quite
make?
a hard job to
Really?
make. Yeah.
What does it take to make it? Give me like a quick breakdown.
I think, I think the amount of flour the guy inhaled was probably...
Workplace hazard.
Yeah, I think in his insurance policies it must be like way up there because... but it really is, it's a stretch and pull, stretch and pull, stretch and pull. And literally, I mean, it's an art. It's like... all he does is make pastry, and if you watch a clip on it, I mean YouTube or one of these guys, it's something.
And it's the space that you need to make it, because it's just water and flour.
Their tables
and
are
a
about
little bit of
30 times the size of this, and they just throw it.
Stretch and stretch and stretch.
Wow.
And it's all about laminating it, and something like that is laminated with flour, where this is laminated with butter.
Okay. Interestingly enough, phyllo or phyllo, a Greek word that means leaf.
Yes.
So you can imagine, I mean, when you just to the touch, it is so delicate, and you can imagine the amount of time it takes. We've made pasta, for instance, on the show from scratch. So you can imagine making this paper thin like that must
But
be
imagine
quite...
the crunch you get once this is baked.
Yes.
And that's what this is about. This is all about the crunch.
Okay. All right. Yes, go ahead, please.
Sorry, mate. There's a typical dish in the Middle East called the burak, and it's literally a pie filling, and they take layers of that, and then they brush it with egg yogurt, so they brush another layer, till it gets halfway into a little pan. Then they fill it with whatever. It can either be dessert like chocolate and strawberries, or you can do it with, let's say after a braai, you've got boerewors and chakalaka left.
Yes.
Put it all in the center, you do the same again, and then you bake it in the oven. And it's like that go-to dish. Pull it out the fridge, cut a slice off, warm it in the oven, because the nice thing about that, every time you put it back in the oven, it just crisps up and gives you that awesome.
Beautiful. All right, so that's a very fancy way of using phyllo pastry, phyllo pastry.
Baklava.
I was about to say, what other uses? So baklava is one of them.
With all those pistachios, and then after it's baked, it's just toast with a lovely honey, and it's just the most amazing thing to eat.
Samosas as well. We make samosas
you make use.
Yeah, not the proper way of doing it, but
not
yes,
the
you
proper way
can.
of doing it. Is that like if
It's a different pastry. Yeah.
Oh, okay, but you can.
Absolutely.
Yes, you can.
Use it as a
Even spring rolls. And what's nice, if you want to have your spring rolls that are healthy, you can bake that in the oven as opposed to deep frying them.
I did not know that.
Okay. Well,
that is very
that's
cool.
That's exactly what the Culinary Hotline Bling is all about. We learn new things. Engage with us on social media, on Facebook. Bring forth your questions. We would love to interact with you. We'll be back again with Grace and Peter very shortly on the Culinary Hotline Bling.
Ting, ting, ting. Oh, hopefully that got you inspired a little bit this morning. Well, we're going to do it all over again. What comes to mind when you think of Asia? Probably the Great Wall of China, maybe Mount Fuji, as spectacular as it is, and the other high-tech and bustling cities surrounding them. And of course, that's how we know it. Well, today, Paula from Imagine Cruising is here to discuss another truly amazing package to travel, explore, experience the true wonders of the Far East. And I say wonders because it almost defies our imagination, our understanding, because it's so different to what we are used to. We've been to the Maldives. You've been to the Maldives. I've actually been there, but we had an incredible package, incredible Mediterranean adventures. That has just, I still think about that all the time. And now Imagine Cruising, I have got something slightly different. What's the speed here?
So yes, we have. So here at Imagine Cruising, our tagline is more than just a cruise. So what we mean by this is that alongside our cruise lines on these fabulous ships, we also offer tour experiences around the world so that you can fully discover its destination, its culture, and all those famous landmarks around the world. What is great about this is that not only do you experience all these wonderful places, as you can see, China. We really get to, have a wonderful experience going around there. So you really treasure these bucket list experiences that you treasure forever. And the holidays we're going to showcase today will be a perfect example of this.
I mean, it really does ignite the imagination, that wanderlust. That's what travel is all about. Yes, you can go somewhere and just chill out, and that's part of what you want, but you want to experience something that you are never, ever going to forget. The touring experience, why is that? It's one of your cornerstones. It's one of the pillars of what you guys build together. And I say build because you piece together these adventures, these cruises. It kind of sells it short when you just call it a cruise.
Yes.
What does touring experience actually mean to you, do you think?
These are fully escorted tours, often of the wonders around the world, which complements your cruise. So, for example, if you are touring the Indian Ocean and you cruise in the Indian Ocean, you can tour the cultural experiences of treasures of the India's Golden Triangle, for example. And then if you are sailing across the Atlantic seas, you can discover the diverse North America during our New York, Washington, D.C. and Niagara Falls tours. So these tours are fully escorted, and we work with trusted tour partners who offer small group experiences and informative tour guides.
And what I've found in my experience going through these sorts of these opportunities is you're dealing with someone who's emotionally invested in the place. You get to find out things that you never would. I dig going and checking out a place, and I've always been resistant of tours, but when you do it in the right way with the right people, it really can completely transform a situation, it's what it's all about. Memories, creating something that you're never going to forget. So we are talking, and I love the names of these particular holiday variations. So we've got the Far East in Bloom and Mount Fuji Discovery. Talk us through that.
So with this amazing holiday, not only are you going to tour the Mount Fuji, you also get to explore Tokyo in the beautiful cherry blossom season. You'll get to spend one night in Hong Kong, and then you get to cruise the China on board the MS Westerdam.
Look at That's, I mean, I
Isn't
could
that
just sit.
stunning?
You know, some of
It
the
goes
most.
back to when I was there. It's absolutely beautiful. The experience that you have there is amazing.
Yes, I hate you a little bit because every time we talk about one of these
No, we'll take you
destinations,
with.
you're like, I was there, I experienced it, but you have to because you've got to go through these experiences and live them to be able to truly sell them.
Absolutely.
I think that's the most important part. So that's the one side of things. So we know that flights are included, okay, which we'll get onto again. So that's one massive thing that's taken care of. We know that you've got these experiential kind of landmarks that you're going to, but lest we forget that you're actually traveling the whole time on this amazing luxury resort on the water. What is the cruise experience like itself? Let's talk about the ship.
Okay, so the MS Westerdam is part of Holland America. It's a luxury 5-star ship, which has more of a hint of the musical heritage about it. So the music lovers can enjoy entertainment in forms of classic, blues, and rock and roll. And then the foodies can actually be part of the cooking demonstrations on America's Test Kitchen Theatre there. And then if you're looking for a more enriching experience, you can attend the lectures on board the ship about the destinations that you are actually visiting. So on the ship there's 2 pools, there's 7 bars and 7 dining options on the holiday, so you can enjoy it throughout. So as you can see, all the entertainment, all the meals on board the ship, your breakfast, lunch and dinner and snacks is all included.
And you can even make your own dinner. I love the fact that you can take it to there. I'm starting to get it because there's an essence to every one of the packages that you guys put together. And this very much, where previously maybe looking at the Mediterranean was very much about relaxing and sinking into this. This does have the relaxation component, but this is about living. This is about taking your life to a new level or experiencing things that you never would have. Yeah, absolutely unique. Beautiful stuff. I can't wait. We're going to explore a little bit further on this wonderful new way that you can approach doing something that I think in the past we've been misconceived in terms of how we understand a cruise. It's about experiencing life on a different level, whether you're out in the water or at one of these amazing destinations. And starting from only 54,999 Rand per person, you could be exploring the magic, the wonders of the Far East on board the MS Westerdam, which seems like an experience in itself. You can get all of those details on our website, their website as well. But stay tuned. We're going to delve a little deeper into exploring this amazing destination, what you can expect there. And the number is open as we speak. You can call right now, 086 177 7245, if you want to start speaking to someone who can kind of ignite that flame, guide you on the first step towards what sounds like a life-changing cruise and journey.
Cadbury Dairy Milk shines a light on the generosity alive in each of us. Bring your old toys to any of Cadbury Dairy Milk's pop-up Little Generosity shops in major centres this winter and receive a slab of Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate. Get to Cape Town's Canal Walk Little Generosity shop from the 19th of July to the 5th of August with your toys, and let's inspire a little more Cadbury Dairy Milk goodness in the world.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone. Culinary hotline bling. That can only mean one thing.
Yes, it means one thing when you tune into your feel-good breakfast show at this time on a Wednesday. Time for the Culinary Hotline Bling. Ting, ting, ting. Grace Stevens and Peter Abe are here. We're talking about pastries, and we were marveling at the wonders of phyllo pastry, as I was corrected very recently on social media. It's phyllo, because apparently that's how the Greeks pronounce it, and everything started in Greece.
No, the actual thing, I mean, I'm Lebanese, so there's a little bit of an argument here. It actually all stems from the Ottoman Empire. So they took over in Turkey. So I'd say it actually stems from Turkey and then went all across the world.
Peter, also our in-house historian. But that was that. Okay, now puff pastry, we're going to be talking about in a second, but you're going to show us very quickly how to make a short crust pastry. And while you do that, tell us what we can use it for, Peter.
Okay, we're going to just do it really quickly.
Yeah.
So we would normally take our salt, our flour, we would sieve it all together. And then what you do is you take butter, but it must still be quite chilled. Oh. Because what we're going to do is we would throw that in, and we're going to mix it, and you want to crumb it. What do you guys call it?
Crumbing.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I've seen baking using butter that is not at room temperature. So this time around, you want it chilled.
Yeah, remember, if it's not chilled, it's just going to go everywhere.
Yeah,
You're not going to form that crumbs. Yeah?
No, you do. It's rubbing in. That
Yes.
So you want to evenly disperse it so it does look like breadcrumbs.
Otherwise it's not going to work.
No.
Okay.
And you're looking for a short crust
Yeah,
consistency.
so from that, all you then need to do is add your liquids to it, whatever that might be. And what I normally do is I just put it into a cling wrap, roll it out nicely, and then put it into the fridge, let it harden, and then from there you can do whatever you want.
Okay, and then baking it to look like that, would that be what do they call it, a flash bake or blind bake?
Blind bake.
Blind baking, that's sort of flash baking. What are you talking about, Katel? You've had enough of the culinary hotline bling to know that. Okay, so that's how you make it, and we'll be using it a bit later on in one of our recipes. But let's talk about this puff pastry, and used for a great deal many. Are all of these puff pastry variations?
Yes.
Yes. So
not really the croissant, but because that's more an enriched yeast dough that's then laminated with butter. But
very difficult to do though as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, but I thought you were going to show us a very easy version.
So I'm gonna. This is the one that you make, and you tell everyone you spent hours in the kitchen, but you just bought a nice roll of puff pastry from the store.
Yes.
So Pete mentioned this before. You have to let it come to room temperature naturally. So don't think you can just pop it in the microwave.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Plan your main dishes.
I've cut it into these sort of triangles here. Yes, I was going to go for isosceles or something like that.
Wow, now we're getting technical, but I love that. Isosceles triangles with two equal sides and one shorter side.
And then, okay, you can fill this with whatever you want. So I've put some chocolate spread, and then of course some nuts, and whatever nuts you'd like.
Okay.
I think I might have overfilled this.
I thought so too. But that isosceles triangle is taking more than 180 degrees in there.
Right, and then you roll it up.
All right.
Nice tight roll.
Yes.
Nice tight roll.
Wow.
Okay.
Just like that.
This is definitely going to go all over the place.
Let's try and make another one. You can SMS the keyword chocolate to 33728, and we'll send you a link to the recipe.
This is how you are going to be able to make your own croissants at home.
Yes.
Just doing this.
Excellent. There we go. Then you can fold it in there. And while you do that, just quickly take us through the filling that we have over there, Peter. So we've got some puff pastry with some jam, I see.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes. You were looking way on the other side.
I was looking on the other table. What are you talking about? Okay, so I'm going to make a little pinwheel like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to take our pastry. It needs to be at a good temperature. Remember, if you've worked too much with it, it's going to be very soft. Put it back in the fridge for a few minutes just to harden up, because it's a butter-based pastry.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do something similar to that.
What do you call that, by the way?
What I call what, man?
That which you've made there.
I think a pinwheel.
A pinwheel. It's a pinwheel.
Okay,
Yeah.
pinwheel.
Okay, so look what I'm doing. It's like almost like a cross. Then what you do, well, what I do anyway.
There you go.
Just take the one and pinch it.
Fold it in.
Then you leave that one.
Then you fold that one in.
Fold that one in. You leave that one. You fold this one in.
Fold it in.
Leave that one. And fold it in. And then from there, you would just put it onto your baking paper, dab that down, and then you'd add your jam onto this.
Lovely stuff. And how long do you bake that for?
until it's golden brown. Just give it a nice brush with either some, what would you use?
So an egg wash.
Egg wash.
With both.
So this is just egg mixed with a little bit of milk or water, and then that just gives you that golden brown puff. Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Excellent.
And 200 degrees, hey?
Yeah.
So it's a hot oven. Well, not that hot, but
And
a
usually
hot
probably
oven.
very, very quick as well, I'm sure.
About 15, 20 minutes, but you must watch it. Pastry, you need to watch.
Do we have time? I can show you another cut.
Please, go ahead. And while you do that, for that second recipe, the pinwheel with the jam center, SMS the keyword sweet to 33728. So what are you making there?
Another like little Danish or whatever you want to call it. So
you're gonna kind of cut a little square inside
the square,
but not all the way.
Not all the way.
So you're not trying to perforate it through and through.
No. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that.
Okay, let's just move that bowl so that the camera can catch that. There we go.
Take it like that, and then this one.
Oh wow! Okay.
Over like that, and we'd give it a nice brush with our
Look
egg.
at that! It's a bit of a. It's like a geometry class as well. Just make as many interesting shapes
once
as you
it
can.
actually rises, it looks really amazing. It's,
Yes.
you can do a savoury version of this, and then once again, just pop your jam or whatever
Lovely
you can
stuff.
do.
Lovely stuff. All right. So the two keywords. One is chocolate to 33728, and the other is sweet to 33728. And stay tuned. Of course, we have more culinary hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting. Coming up.
Oh man, my mouth is watering so much. So let's shift gears once again and inspire you to get out there and explore the world in a truly remarkable new way. So earlier, Paula from Imagine Cruising told us about an incredible opportunity to travel and truly explore the magic of the Far East on board the MS Westerdam, which in itself is an experience. Starting off this 18-night trip, you will explore the beautiful country of China, kicking off in Hong Kong, and it really does, I think, take you on a magical journey. The destinations are awe-inspiring. I've been trying to go through them myself, so I think best that you maybe explain, because you've lived this journey, you love this place, and I know it's quite tricky when we come to the Far East, but I have great confidence in you. So what is some of the itinerary, at least, in this 18-night odyssey?
So this guest will begin their holiday with a flight to Tokyo, where they'll overnight and get to see this wonderful, vibrant city before boarding the MS Westerdam. Your first stop is the mega Shanghai city, the mega city of Shanghai, and where you also overnight on board the ship, so you'll get to explore the city. One of the most intriguing things about Shanghai is its contrast. So on the one hand, you see a city that's racing towards the future, and on the other hand, it's a city that's just steeped in history.
Thousands of years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and the Bund is an amazing place to visit. It's got its colonial buildings overlooking the Hangpu River, which is absolutely beautiful. So you get to see these unique places around, the city. So that would be one of the nice.
Yeah, I think Shanghai's a great place to see the past and the future coming together, and you get the tourist experience, yes, as well. But if you want a snapshot of China and of where it is and where it's come from, that's probably the best kind of little sample that you can get. But it's not the only place within the China journey. Where else do you go?
So one of my top tips about Shanghai is maybe to do go and catch a glimpse of the Chinese acrobatic show, because their talent is simply mind-blowing,
Yeah.
But besides this, over the course of the cruise, you get to actually experience different faces of China. So you get to stop at Qingdao, which homes to the long sandy beaches, and it has a distinct and unusual European feel about it, with its red-roofed tops villas and German architecture there. But the highlight of this journey, I would say, it's Tianjin, because there's the gateway to Beijing. So there you also get to overnight on board the ship, which is amazing. So this extended stay allows you to explore more of China's famous landmarks, one of them being one of the wonders of the world, which is the Great Wall of China. And you get
is on my bucket list.
And then you've got the Forbidden City and the Tiananmen Square. So before you disembark in Yokohama in Japan, you also get to visit Dalian, which is China's northern pole, and then you have a quick stop in Japan's Nagasaki. So Nagasaki is one of Japan's most complex histories due to the influences of the Spanish, Dutch, and the Portuguese, which can all be seen around the city, in this vibrant and bustling city.
I love it. It's a taste of the now, but also a taste of the past and thousands of years of history in that sense. And for me, I think when you consider all of this, with flights included, with the travel that you get, the experience, the luxury on board the ship, it's mind-blowing that you can have all of this in one experience. If you've been talking about that bucket list trip, maybe you and your partner, you want to do something that is going to reinforce your love of life and open up your eyes to what the world has to offer. This is incredible. It's culture, it's history. There is just a little bit of everything for everyone. And when we come back, we're going to be discussing the amazing destinations that guests will also be able to explore in that beautiful part of the world, shifting into Japan, which in itself also has a treasure trove, a pearl to discover there as well. But you can get in touch with Imagine Cruising right now. You can go online if you want to just kind of ignite the imagination, imaginecruising.co.za, or you can phone them right now, 0861 777 245. You can book your ticket right off the bat, get some great advice. You can ponder that, you can get on your phone as we take the shortest of breaks. We'll see you now.
My name is Anga Makubalo, aka Knock Music. I'm an actor and a musician.
My name is Bongs Dema, aka King B.
I was Team White alongside my good friend Bongs.
We are the winners of TIOT 7.
The feeling of winning is absolutely amazing. I couldn't believe when Bongs climbed up that rope to get the bottle at the top. I'll never forget that moment.
Guys, literally, you become an instant celebrity. I even got invited to A-list parties when I got a chance to launch my acting career.
This competition really gives you the opportunity to find your fame and fortune.
If you have a dream of being famous and actually getting money, this is the show for you. All you have to do is just enter.
Tropical Island of Treasure Season 9 is coming soon, so be on the lookout for entry details.
And if you're lucky enough, you could walk away with that smooth million rand.
Tropical Island of Treasure, Curacao.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. That's what people need to understand about these kind of trips. The value for money, how much, if you break it down to what's included, the bullet train. We've got the, okay, I better quickly just read this. In fact, best.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone.
Culinary hotline bling.
That can only mean one
Welcome back to
thing.
Feel Good Breakfast Show, just in time for our final segment of the Culinary Hotline. Bling! Ting, ting, ting! We've given Gracie a break, and Peter and I are going to conclude this part of it. And I think we've demystified most things about pastries today. We've shown you how, or we've tried to explain to you how phyllo pastry is made, but a very, very exhausting process that you might not want to try at home. That's why we have store-bought purchase it rather. And we've shown you how to use it. I've told you how to use it. And then puff pastry is also one of the ones that we were talking about earlier on, showing you how to make those beautiful chocolate nut croissants as well as those jam Danish pastries. And then we also showed you how to make this, a short crust pastry, which involves flour and butter that is chilled that you're going to crumb, and then after that, what liquid did you say you add to that? An egg. And after that, you're going to roll it out nice and flat.
And normally just some ice cold water, like maybe 30 mils or so.
Yeah. After rolling it nice and flat, you're going to get that into your fridge, and then you're going to be blind baking it so that it forms this beautiful short crust like that. Now, what to do with it?
Okay, so what we're going to be using the clover vanilla flavored custard.
Excellent.
Okay, so we start in the pan, pot pan, whatever you want to call it, a little bit of melted butter.
Yeah.
Some corn flour.
Okay.
Give that a little bit of a stir. Whenever you're doing any flour, always just cook it out. Otherwise, it's going to have that raw flour taste.
Okay. So what are we making in there? What is that?
In classical terms, they would call it a roux, which just means equal quantities of flour and butter.
Excellent stuff.
Okay, so once that's gone down, now we add our amazing...
oh, wow. Into a... Okay. There we go. Okay. You can SMS the keyword bake to 33728.
Okay.
So it's clover, excuse me. Clover to 33728.
So that we're just going to whisk in. We're going to bring it up to the heat. It's going to thicken up a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, but we take it off for now.
So it's gonna give your, because obviously custard is quite a, I mean, if you talk about the viscosity of the liquid.
Right.
Quite fine, if you want to call it that. So adding the flour there is going to thicken it up so that it doesn't necessarily penetrate through the pastry.
And if we had the beautiful Grace on here, she would explain the whole difference between a creme pat and a creme anglaise.
Creme pat, creme anglaise. I'll tell you what, we'll record a video of Grace explaining that after this, and then we'll post it up onto our Facebook page.
How beautiful that custard looks.
That is beautiful.
Okay, another little tip is if you want to get that nice and smooth, get some hot water and then just dip your spoon in it. You can be able to lay it, but we're not going to do that now, so we're going to take a little bit of grenadella. Always one of my favorites.
There we go. Be creative. Let your creativity flow.
Okay.
And you can feel free to kind of just, let it do its thing. And I'm sure there's a variance of fruits that you could use as well. You could even go savory if you wanted to.
But I think, like everything nowadays, make sure it's seasonal.
Yeah.
Seasonal, local. And it's always going to be better. Okay, so that's all on that side.
And while you do that, of course, clover custard, classic custard, is known for being the creamy taste that really takes you back. And it's smooth, it's creamy, it's delicious. That custard that has a unique recipe and is a source of vitamin A, B2, and vitamin D as well. And of course, custard reminds us that family spending time, quality time together, that's what the nostalgia is all about. That's what we
grew up on that,
forward
didn't
to.
we?
Yeah, exactly.
Is,
and if you feel like spoiling your family out there, make it into a little lunchbox treat, if you will. Friends will love it as well. Oh, look at what you've done there. That's Instagram ready. I like what you've done there, Peter. All right. I actually want to taste a little bit of this because I've never tasted the custard that has with.
Just think.
I love the thicker context of the custard. Beautiful stuff. Thank you very much, Peter. We really appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure.
And you can, of course, SMS Clover to 33728, and we'll send you a link to the recipe, and you can make your own beautiful clover custard short crust pastry. If you want to see how we made it, take a look at this quickly.
Clover Classic Custard, the creamy taste that takes you back. Made with love by Clover.
In the mood for something fruity, colourful and sweet? Thanks to Clover, you can make this Clover Classic Custard Winter Tart in a jiffy. Add 200 grams of cake flour to a sieve, along with 85 grams of icing sugar, 50 grams almond flour, and sift together in a bowl. Add 120 grams cubed and frozen clover butter. Then rub it all together until you've got a breadcrumb consistency. Next, add 1 egg yolk, a tablespoon of Clover Fresh full cream milk, and a a pinch of salt. Then combine again to form a dough. Wrap the dough in cling film and pop in the fridge for 30 minutes. Roll the dough to about ½ centimeter thickness. Then place it in an oven-proof tart dish and press down to cover the surface and edges. Using a fork, prick the dough. Cover with foil and add dried beans to blind bake for about 15 minutes. In the meantime, combine 1 tablespoon of corn flour with 1 tablespoon cubed clover butter and whisk to combine. Pour 750 ml of Clover Classic custard into a saucepan and heat over a medium heat. Pour some of the warm custard into the corn flour mixture and whisk to combine, before whisking it back into the remainder of the warm custard. Spread the custard mixture over the cool biscuit base. Then decorate with your favorite seasonal berries. Being a pastry queen or king is as easy as pie, so why not give this delicious and creamy Clover Classic winter tart a try tonight?
Made with love by Clover.
Definitely worth trying tonight. SMS the keyword Clover to 33728 and we'll send you a link to the recipe as well as the ingredients list so that you can make your own at home. Surprise the family tonight. I think they would love that, wouldn't they, Gracie?
Absolutely.
All right, listen, we're going to be opening up our page to questions regarding all things pastries, and we're going to be asking them to Grace and Peter a little bit later on in the next segment of our culinary hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting!
Clover Classic Custard, the creamy taste that takes you back. Made with love by Clover.
Thank you, gentlemen. Some geniuses, genii in the kitchen. Philo, Philo. We know it's Philo now. But now we are off the kitchen, off the map. In fact, we are out of the 7 seas. We are back with Paola from Imagine Cruising. She has been blowing my mind a little bit with one of the most incredible cruises to the Far East for 18 nights. So far, we've looked at the beautiful MS Westerdam, a ship that is an experience in itself, as well as the Chinese destinations, the experiences of culture, of history, of modern marvels that Hong Kong, Shanghai, and Beijing have to offer. Now we take the next step in our journey and we move to an equally exciting and magical destination, Japan. It really is amazing to me that you're fitting so much into one trip. And that price is quite amazing when you kind of take that all in. But the holiday doesn't really end when you embark on the ship, because that's just one step in that journey. How do you kind of explain the full width and breadth of this experience?
So the journey doesn't stop there. Some people would say that we've saved the best for last, because when you disembark the ship in Yokohama, you'll be transferred to your hotel in Tokyo for 3 nights. So you'll be visiting one of the most anticipated times in the Japanese calendar, which is the beautiful cherry blossom season, as the city turns into this beautiful shade of pink, which is actually, as you can imagine, you can get to explore the different places to see this cherry blossom. So one of the best places in Tokyo to go and see it would be the National Garden and also the Imperial Palace area.
Oh, I can imagine. With the Imperial Palace has been so impeccably kept as well in that space. Amazing. Tokyo has got to be one of the most exciting tourist destinations in the world. Again, when you talk about that mix of old and new, but it's one of the most modern places in the world.
Absolutely high tech.
What can people enjoy during that time? Because it's not just about getting there and taking it in and taking photos, but you get to experience.
So besides just enjoying those neon lights at night, in the city, I would say the highlight of this is the fully escorted tour to Mount Fuji, Japan's highest mountain. So you get to explore that. During the tour, you'll get to stop at numerous viewpoints so that you can get to see this beauty before then taking the Hakone Sky cable car, and you'll watch the sulfuric hot springs bubble and pop below you.
It's like a National Geographic episode going in my head. I'm like going through every one of these iconic scenes.
And it is really beautiful. I mean, this experience is really one of those bucket lists, like we always say.
Sure, man.
And then from there you get to enjoy a boat trip on the serene Lake Pastry, which is absolutely beautiful. You can see with the mountain tip there of Mount Fuji there. It's absolutely beautiful. Before then, taking the iconic high-speed bullet train that whisks you back to Tokyo.
In moments. Have you experienced the bullet train?
Yes, I have. I've been very fortunate to experience that. It's quite mind-blowing because you don't even feel that speed when you're inside. It's so comfortable, and it's a smooth and quiet ride. It's only when you look out the window you realize how fast you're actually going.
And the mountain suddenly becomes a hill and
yes,
then disappears.
Before you know it, you're there.
I think lastly, as we wrap up here, because when I look at the price, 54,999 per person for 18 nights in itself is pretty good value when you take into everything that we've spoken about. But you take the flights out of that equation, that equates to what, like 2,000
Rand
a night?
Basically. I mean, where are you going to stay for that and get all these experiences?
Schlanger, you could do at a similar price. Honestly, that's what it equates to in season. It's amazing. So obviously this experience has history, it has food, it has culture, it has a taste of the modern Far East mixed with a taste of the old that will blow your mind from a cultural perspective. It really is an experience as much as it is a cruise. And of course, you've got people waiting to tell you a little bit more, inform you about exactly when and how you can go about this. Delve into that price package and hopefully take that first step towards something that is quite literally going to change your life. 54,999 Rand is where the price starts. That is amazing. You can go, of course, to Imagine Cruising's website. You can follow them online as well, or you can give them a call right now, 0861 777 245. Get dialing. Phone them right now as we take a momentary break. Paula, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Sure. That's our destiny.
Crazy Store's birthday, and to celebrate, Expresso will be giving away daily prizes next week. Each day, one lucky viewer stands a chance to win a hamper filled with epic Crazy Store goodies. Ensure that you watch Expresso this Friday morning to find out how you can enter. Don't miss out between the 29th of July and the 2nd of August. We could be calling you live on air to win your share of crazy prizes thanks to the Crazy Store.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone. Culinary hotline bling. That can only mean one thing.
And we're back again for the Culinary Hotline Bling. Ting, ting, ting. Back for a quick little segment to take your questions from social media. Of course, we said end of the month is here, but the only dough we're worrying about is the dough we're rolling out in the pastry kitchen. And we've been making some delicious pastries out there. And you've come forth with some great comments as well. Fata says, ready to bake. Very excited with all kinds of emotion. Then Josephine Pixton said, good morning, family. My pastry bake is apple pie. That is also just a classic, isn't it? We even forgot to talk about apple pie. Such an important important one. Shanice Reddy says custard Danish. She loves that. Milk tart, chocolate eclairs. Princess can drop some for me at Brenthurst Hospital. I need to pick me up. Oh, Shalene, hope you're watching. We're sending you all of our love and hope you get well very, very soon. And then we also had some questions that came through, but let's look at this first. Christine Saunders says, hello Expresso team, Peter and Grace. I would like to know, when making any type, I'm assuming, of pastries like pies, can you freeze them and how long can you freeze them for? Thank you and God bless. Thank you very much for that question. So once you've made it, because we've said that, you know, you can make the pastry itself and freeze it, but once you've made the actual recipe, how long can you usually keep it for?
It's always a good question.
Yeah.
It's, if it's wrapped properly and your freezing facilities are proper, 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's something so good, why keep it for?
I was about to say that. Rather, I mean, you've worked so hard to make it.
Because remember, you can have the frozen pastry, and then all you do is you whip up whatever you're going to put into your pie, take out the pastry, make it. Half an hour, you've got to
plan, plan the dishes, make just enough for what you need, and then keep the pastry, which you will use then later on.
Some things freeze really well, and other things don't. So you've got to be a little bit careful.
All right, good. Rafada Johnson says, good morning, Expresso family. I love the pie puff pastry, but I don't like to make it myself that much. Too much folding and resting. Is there any other way of making puff pastry that does not require the butter folding process?
I think if you take what we did for the rough puff, where you would just crumble in the butter, that's a quick alternative. Otherwise, buy it.
Fantastic stuff. Well, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We really do appreciate it, Grace and Peter. And thank you for all of your questions on social media as well. But in case you didn't know, we got some really, really good news today. Courtesy of DDEM, we have been awarded Best Morning Show on Television, as voted for by you, the public. Thank you very, very much. Yes, absolutely. Celebration. Aren't you guys proud to be associated? And it's part of your work as well, because without you, we wouldn't be winning awards like this.
You know, the food is a big part of this. Hey, look at that, man. Even matches your shirt, man.
That's my word.
Yeah, that is. That really is.
We're all in blue today.
I know, man. We felt the vibe, you know. But it's the bottom line is this is the most collaborative show on the planet. It really is such a joy to constantly be working with people in such a shared kind of way. And I think that's from our viewers to all of our guests to everyone. That's your award. It's your award, guys. But don't think that we're going to give it to you, because we're going to keep it right here.
So you can see it every morning.
You can come visit and check it out, like in a museum of sorts. We'll keep it up front in the reception area.
Don't have a museum.
We're collecting them. We're collecting these awards.
No,
Cats ones also live here.
Oh, do they?
Don't they?
No.
Sorry,
mine are at home.
You can go to his house.
But listen, thank you very much for the votes, because without you, this would not have been possible. Thank you very much to DDEM, who had the initiative of promoting South African quality production service providers and all kinds of manner of advancing business going forward. That's really, really great. It's a great initiative from them.
Have you guys eaten anything yet? Have you tasted
No.
Are we allowed to?
Have you taken all the pictures you need? Okay, we're getting the nod, so we can all dig in. I'm going to get into this. Listen, thanks for joining us this morning. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Make someone smile out there. Bye-bye.
Danish. Thank you, guys.
Expresso Morning Show, made with love by Clover.
Nada. Feel Good production.